Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Magnum, and this is Downtime in the Hangar. It's a podcast about Gundam Battle Operation 2, and today I'm joined by GamingEmblem, Gustav the 13th, and GndmManiac.
Hello.
So, let's go ahead and start with some introductions. So, who wants to go first?
I mean, I don't mind starting out. So, guys, I'm GamingEmblem. I stream video games on this website called Twitch. You probably haven't heard of me. We've been doing it for a while, probably about a year and a half now, give or take a few. Play RPGs and stuff like that. But we like the game.
Let's see. All right, I'll go next. I am Gustav the 13th. Been streaming for about 2 years or so. Actually started going really hard on Pokemon Go when I first started, and then GBO2 happened. Bit the bullet on that and just didn't look back since.
No, I guess I'm next. Hello, my name's GndmManiac. I started streaming, oh gosh, what has it been, like almost a year and a half, 2 years now? Can't keep track. I guess that's about it. I don't know. That was a horrible introduction.
And then I'm Magnum. I just started streaming, it's almost been a year. Yeah, I play pretty much just about anything, but right now I'm pretty much focusing on a lot of Path of Exile and Gundam. Oh, WoW Classic took my attention. I play a lot of games. Anyway, first topic on the list we got is rank. Hey guys, how's it going? Here we are again with Downtime in the Hangar, where we're talking about GBO2 and all things about it, joined by GamingEmblem.
Heyo.
Gustav the 13th.
What up?
And GndmManiac.
Hello.
So, what have you guys been up to? How's your week been? Gustav, you want to go first? Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Downtime in the Hangar. We've got a guest today, everything GBO2 and some other stuff sometimes. About all things GBO2 and then sometimes some other things. GBO2 and sometimes other stuff. 2 and sometimes other stuff. Sometimes other things. We got a guest.
I'm going the wrong way on my stream.
Tangent from other stuff. GBO2 and then sometimes tangent. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and tangent, never tangent, definitely not tangent, definitely never tangent, a lot of stuff and things.
For sure.
Gustav?
Oh, okay, I was waiting for the Gustav question mark. It wasn't coming out.
I like there's like a clear pattern after so long. Get your X buttons ready, everybody.
This is my raid face.
Okay, here we go.
Perfect timing.
Shot!
Or in his chair or something.
Nothing. Because he has nothing to do with robots.
I pick brain.
Have you done it?
Okay, I still don't remember this character from Overwatch.
He's a support.
I don't play supports.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, he's all bungus in there.
Oh,
got him.
Oh damn it! Nobody take that out of context.
Magnum.
Visual novel Goose.
Ah, Goose Senpai. I was looking for you. Oh. I haven't worked out in a while. Isaac is in the game and is still the best suit.
Are you good?
No.
It's morbing time. Stand back, Gustav Magnum. I'm beginning to
Interrupt the
morb.
morb. I didn't mean to tackle there.
Margaret.
Oh, Chris.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and definitely not tangent. This time,
Not at all.
there's guaranteed
Not
tangents just with the topic list there. I have no clue what to put. Hopefully, it's in a cohesive thing for possibly putting the what are they called in the description that I always do, that I don't always do. Timestamps. There we go. But yeah, hopefully that's kind of cohesive. But if not, oh well. But anyway, this is going to be a special episode 2. We got Maniac on to talk about past stuff and things, and as well, 2. This is going to be kind of like a farewell kind of podcast for Emblem. He's going to be quitting content creation. So Emblem, if you want to go ahead and say anything.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just been having a lot of busy time with life and things, I guess. Recently got a promotion, doing more work. I work at a commercial bank, so and we're like painfully shorthanded like everybody else. So pretty much just got a whole bunch of business clients thrown in my lap. So I'm just trying to really have to work double duty for stuff like that. You know, I was late today, but I thought I was gonna be on time, and then like as usual, something comes up last minute, but late today just with stuff like that. So it's kind of been something that has been on the back of my mind for a little bit, but kind of came to a head in October. So I'm gonna take this time to kind of step back, focus on work, and probably even look back into finishing up my school, because I kind of put it off to the side after my major got dropped back when I was in Alabama going to Auburn University. So take this opportunity to focus on work and school and get that finished up. And then who knows, maybe at some point can pick it back up. But it's been a while, so I'm gonna spend most of my free time just kind of like refreshing, essentially doing some studying and stuff like that. Something I want to make happen, so I'm ready for that. But that's the big thing, though. Nothing too crazy. As far as chat said, War Eagle chat. As far as that's the thing you say in Auburn. If you go to Alabama, you have to say "Roll Tide." Or I'm sorry, it's actually
Oh my God.
no. I think no. Oh gosh, I swear I'm from Alabama. War Eagle. No, I think yeah. No, I think I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm down on myself. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure it's Roll Tide. War Eagle, Roll. Anyway, whatever. Sports ball things, but
Do you sports?
yeah,
Do you sports good?
yeah. Besides that, though, just another busy week. I've been on some weight loss. I want to say gains, but I guess losses. My low carb diet's working out for me.
Woot woot.
Last I checked, I was around 245, which is good. Lost a decent amount of weight. It's pretty cool. Although my doctor has my target set to 200, so I have a ways to go.
Yeah, I'm
So I was
actually.
looking at-
Progress is progress for sure.
Oh yeah, not bad at all. So I don't hate it. But yeah, so doing that stuff, we'll say I'm going to early start my New Year's resolution. That's what I've been telling people. So,
But yeah,
that's
also,
about the gist of it, though, Magnum.
also too, I saw on your Discord. I think you said promotion too, so congrats on that. But hopefully, this is a long hiatus more than anything.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a while. Like part of my plan with work on top of schooling is I can't remember the exact name of it. It's some silly nonsense, but the bank offers a special program that only a few people can get in to, and I haven't finished that part yet. But effectively, once you finish it up, you go to you take like special classes and whatnot, and you become a super banker. It's like the full armor. It's like the full armor kit for a banker duty or whatever. So
Let's go.
yeah, gonna
Full
intensify.
armor banker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full armor banker, yes.
Although please don't come to the bank in your full armor, though. We will call the police.
That's like a G Gundam suit, full armor banker. But
Yeah.
All you have is like a tuxedo and a fucking like
tuxedo
cash.
mobile suit. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, our colony is Neo Fort Knox.
Just a money bag with like a gold. It's like a swinging gold mallet. Like
Yeah,
Someone will
exactly.
make the OC. Don't worry about it.
let's go, dude.
It'll be commissioned now.
But okay, so there's that, and then we have Maniac on. Maniac, go ahead, and for those who don't know, let them know what you do and stuff and things, all that.
Well, I'm GndmManiac. I stream on the Twitch. Woo.
Ooh.
Stream a lot of Gundam Battle Operation 2, SRW here and there. Sometimes Yakuza games. Currently trying to get through Kiwami 1. When I have time. And currently, so near the end of the month, I am going to be quite busy with work because I work in a restaurant and
God, yeah.
and
I want to ask how Veterans Day went when you finish up, by the way. Speaking of tangents.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So in other words, since I work in a restaurant, Thanksgiving is one of our two biggest holidays. Oh boy, it's gonna be fun this upcoming next week because I have I know what to expect, but like every time that we expect something, we undershoot the expectation and we get our butts handed to us most of the time. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
So that's one thing. So that's why my streaming schedule has been almost non-existent
I feel
to
that.
just kind of whenever I have like 5 hours on hand or cough cough sometimes 10. Anyway, yeah.
Well, how did Veterans Day go? I think
Yeah,
you guys were giving out like chocolate
gosh.
cake or something, right?
Gosh, hold on. How long ago was Veterans Day? Was that
It was last weekend, last Friday.
last Friday? Tell you the truth, I was so busy working, I have no idea what the heck was going on. Dude,
Gotcha.
like
So very.
on Fridays, like I'm just cooking food half the time. So like I'm in the back just, throwing stuff in kettles, throwing stuff in the ovens, and I'm just trying to keep up. So whatever special was going on, I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
I was kind of like, oh my gosh, don't lose your mind, just gun through it. That's basically what it was.
Nah, I heard that. Yeah, and I'm
but
pretty
yeah.
sure most of the whatever it was, cake or whatever they were giving at your restaurant,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have been working with that anyway. I'm sure you guys
No.
sourced,
We
you guys
have
sourced it outside, right?
so in terms of like dessert, so I'm a backup cook, so
Mhm.
I don't touch anything that's prep. I do most of like whatever goes into the hot box or the steam line.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how they separate the two. Now, in some restaurants, in some businesses, like they'll have, the backup cook or prep cook be the same person and do both. Thankfully, we do not do that, and they figured out a more efficient way of doing that, or else I would be dead. Because if I had to do prep and whatever I was doing at the same time,
Mhm.
I'd be having a heart attack on the damn floor.
Yeah, I've heard prep is pretty rough. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What I will say, the last time we got some around here, we got some mashed potatoes, and they were like hard as a rock.
Oh geez.
But the thing is, they were
Oh,
like super busy. So I mean, I guess, but at the same time, literally, I would be like, oh yeah, let's take a spoon and what? What? It
They
like
didn't mix the
it like
potatoes.
it like had
Perfect
a physical
guard.
like chink noise to it. I was like, okay,
That's impressive because they had to scoop it onto your plate too.
right? Like I'm like, what in the world? How are these? Well, no, I mean, they were
Get
like in a perfect
Oh
little
god.
like rectangle cube thing. I was like,
The heck?
oh no, what happened to these?
Yeah. That's what happens when the dishwasher makes the mashed potatoes, I guess.
He just gave him a good rinse and left him on there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Ran it through the dish machine. Dish machine didn't even bother to jet it off.
Oh god.
But yeah, they are definitely busy in certain parts for sure for different things.
Mhm.
Even not on like holidays, which I mean, I guess middle of nowhere Kentucky, fair enough. But yeah. But yeah, other than that, I forget what you said at the beginning, Maniac. But what other games have you been playing and stuff?
Okay, so besides GBO2, Yakuza Kiwami 1, I'm trying to get through all of that. I think I'm at the halfway point. I don't remember. I'm like trying to get as much done on that game as possible. I'm just doing like a crap ton of side quests. So I'm like, maybe I should go to the main story and try to get a few things done. And then I do, and then I'm like, ooh, more side quests. I'm like, no.
Sounds about right.
And then I keep beating up people on the street too. So, you know. Also, I really like it took me some time to get used to, but Kiwami's leveling system is very interesting in terms of how they do the abilities and stuff.
Yeah, like it's a big jump, especially from like 0, where it's just this
Yeah.
full hog like money grind.
Yeah, because now you have to use experience points and not money. So I'm like, oh, so how do I earn experience points? And then they're like, oh yeah, just do a whole bunch of quests and beat up people on the street. And I'm like, okay, so Yakuza 0, but with experience points. Got it. All right, we'll be fine. I'm at the point where I'm like earning half an experience from beating up 10 guys. So I mean,
Yeah, the scaling definitely gets interesting after a while.
I will say though that the whole game series though, I'm planning to start a journey on that and also Persona
go.
at some point. Like those two series though, that's just like a month per game each.
Those are
on
gonna
both
like
of
drain
those.
your soul at that point.
Yeah,
Now,
like
Magnum, we say Persona. How like where are we starting? Are we like Persona 1 Persona, or are we like Persona 3 Persona?
well, see, that's the thing. I've got like if I could figure out how to hook up my PSP, I got I think 4 on it. And then 5 at some point. Only now they came out with Royale, which so I'm like,
Right.
well, I they gave it for free on the PlayStation thing, so
Yeah, the only way I could imagine would be one of those PlayStation TVs.
yeah, I'll have to like I mean, probably 5 just to kind of start there, and then maybe go back, or maybe go back to like 3, and then do 3, 4,
you
5.
might be able to remote play Magnum. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. I do the remote play, but Oh wait, no. The PSP though, well, there's a way to do it. You just have to hook it up to something else, and then like it's not. I can't remember if it was a capture card or there's a way you can hook it up to the PC and there's another app that something uses. But I know somebody who did one.
I know they like the TV thing that I mentioned, but I don't know if I think that was like Japan only.
Wasn't that the Vita though?
Well,
I thought that was the Vita.
No, that was
PSP.
so from what a lot of what I've learned for like connections and stuff to like PlayStation TVs, from what Maelstrom told me, you can hook up a PS Vita and a PSP, but like there's like some sort of like you have to jump through like hoops to get a PSP hooked up. From what I remember. Like you have to like do a lot of jumps and hoops and underground burrowing and things. So I'm not 100% sure. So good luck with that if you want to try that.
So there's probably a YouTube tutorial somewhere. So.
Yeah. Knowing YouTube, there's a video for everything.
Also, to start another tangent on a game that, well, at least it's Gundam this time, but well, sort of. There is Gundam in it. But how's been the Super Robot Wars?
Is this a general question, or are you asking?
General question?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen you've been playing it too. So like, how goes that now? Like, because I'm like wanting to jump back in.
Is you, me, or Maniac? I mean,
okay. Well, everybody, and Gustav. I was gonna say everybody. Go.
I mean, so SRW30 is very unique, and I think Emblem would agree with that. 30 is pretty unique. I found that it takes quite a few things from multiple games. And God, if I had to explain SRW30, God, would that be like 6 hours? In terms of what all was pulled from what. So what's really nice about 30 is that compared to like VX and T, it's a very like free roaming in terms of what missions you want to take on, grinding missions and all that. The leveling system is pretty much the same. They keep I still call it the newer skill system when they introduce that in V, which I'm almost certain that's what they're going to be doing in the next OG game, is just going to keep the new skill system. I can't see them going back to the classic stuff.
Yeah, I like the new system too.
So
keep Maximum Break though, but anyway.
Maximum Break would be so much fun. Oh god, that'd be so broken.
Yeah, it'd be
Anyway.
great. You would shit on everything.
No big deal.
Anyway, so with the whole new skill system, basically you can throw any skill that you want on anybody. In like previous SRWs, that was like absolutely unheard of. Like you could throw like all the defense skills on somebody who would normally not have any defense skills at all, and you could just max them out.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
nice. I saw
You
that.
could do a whole bunch of like evasion skills and stuff like that, damage skills. In terms of like what you can do around, so instead of it being like scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, scenario 4, split route and whatnot, it's here's this map, here's some missions all around here. We'll put stars on stuff that is story driven, and we'll just say recommended whenever it's recommended. So that's basically it. And then whatever the grinding missions are, they'll kind of say like they're, what is it, like mission fronts or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah. So like they're repeated like missions that you can play, that you can grind out like a whole bunch of characters for levels and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of money grinding too. That's fun. I've actually figured out how to do a lot of money grinding in that game, and it's ridiculous. I've made so much money that I pretty much maxed out almost my entire roster of characters before I hit the last stage.
Nice.
Like that was probably like 12 stages away from the last stage. So I did a lot more money grinding than I should have. It was funny because I was talking to Nay about that. I'm like, so did I put too much grinding into that? And he's like, dude, you over leveled yourself so much. And I'm like, no, I wanted to make sure that I won the game. So
Well, I was gonna say, because
There
in
you
the early times when you were doing a super high difficulty, like it was kind of necessary. So after
Yeah.
a while, you just
Yeah.
kind of gets embedded in your head that you should just over prepare anyway.
Right, and I was running on max difficulty at the time before they threw in like super expert or whatever the maximum was, because I was thinking like, okay, I've been playing Super Robot Wars since what, I was in elementary school, so about 7, 8, maybe 10 years old. So like, I'm like, I should probably play it on the hardest difficulty and see what happens. You
Oh,
know.
God.
Yeah, that's
And
where I started.
honestly, I have found 30, I wouldn't say extremely easy, but like compared to like Z3 in like last like stages of Z3, I found like it easier than that and easier than Alpha 3, which is very interesting because I remember playing all the way through Alpha 3 and like the last couple of stages were terrifying from my memory. And so I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I'm just gonna like basically do the big old Yoshi slap from Terminal Montage, just kind of like slide up and just smack the last boss like that. Because that's just how over leveled I was.
I need that
like,
slap as a sound effect. Oh my god.
yes. Well, the funniest thing, even though people would probably like yell at me for this. So, you know how Fa is just like your healer and nobody gives a damn about Fa? I'm
whoa.
So right. So anyway, I was like, all right, I want to do an experiment. And so I was like, all right, Fa's a new type, right? All right. And Amuro got his new Gundam, right? Yes. So there's this mass production new Gundam, huh? All right, so how upgraded is that? Oh, that's actually pretty decently upgraded since I had Amuro in there. Okay, hey, Fa, can you come here for a minute? Like, throws Fa in there, guns are out, and I'm like, all right, I put a whole bunch of defense stats on there. You better not die. Yeah, she was like doing like over like 10,000 damage with the beam rifle at the end of the game. She was like nearly she
Fa
was
is the main character.
90. It's like she was doing like main character damage by the end of the game. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like new and Mass Pro new get kicked around after you get high new.
Yeah. And then I threw Char in the new Gundam because why not?
Yeah, because his suit's a weird support unit. It's like, okay.
It's like the full armor Shiki wasn't terrible. They actually did fairly good with it.
The animations are really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so another tangent here. All right. So we'll go
I
back on
promise
track
this
here
is
in
about
just a second.
GBO2. I
All
swear.
right.
It will be. It will be
It
soon.
actually is about GBO2. So I don't know if Emblem kind of noticed this or not, but like within like after a couple of months after the full armor Shiki and a couple of Zeta MSV stuff popped up in GBO2, when SRW 30 preview dropped and they started saying missing mobile suit variations and the full armor Shiki showed up, I'm like, I had to sit there and go, they had to have talked to each other.
It felt like it. Some of the variations they were revealing seemed strangely like suits that were in GBO2. It's like,
right.
"Hmm."
And I'm
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden I'm like, is that the full armor Shiki? And then I'm like, oh my god, it's the full armor Shiki. And then like
We
they're
got
like,
a
oh,
boat.
here's some mass production new Gundam, and then here's all this, and I'm like, holy crap. And I'm like, and it wasn't even that long ago that like the full armor Shiki was like considered new at the time. So I'm like,
Mhm.
they had to have talked to each other.
We still need our MP new here, by the way.
Right?
I know we
Right.
still need it. Well, I'm thinking MP new would probably be like 650.
Yeah.
But yeah, real quick, two other takes. If you want to do like sentence takes on both of these real quick, though, I do kind of want to hear your opinion. Gundam Evolution and SD Gundam Battle Alliance. Go.
Okay. Well, I never got Battle Alliance, so I'm missing
Okay.
out on that. In terms of evolution, it's fun. It's good. I going from 3+ years on GBO2 and then just trying out like a first person shooter with mechs. I'm like,
Definitely not
it's
Overwatch.
cool. It yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. And it felt kind of weird because to me it just felt like, and somebody in my chat the one time when I was like I only streamed Evolution like once. Somebody mentioned it's like, oh, it's just like Overwatch, but they threw like Gundam skins on it, and it's just people running around with like cosplaying like mobile suits, and I'm like, that's a fair examination of that because of how like really fast and like very oddly fluid they are for how they run around and stuff. Like for Sniper 2, like for just a quick example, just how it runs and jumps around feels very like human and not very mech, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as
It's like-
weighty. I can definitely agree
It
with
doesn't
that.
feel like there's any weight to it at all. It just feels like a person that's just wearing.
Some of them do. Some of them actually have a little
Yeah.
clonk, and you can kind of.
Is that
Heard of it.
different from like Imbon or Maxi Boost?
I feel like the only game that's slow is GBO2. Now,
Yeah.
that being the most longest surviving game that we've had so far,
Yeah.
I guess it kind of sets the standard, but everything else is pretty zippy. Most things
Yeah.
tend to follow the trends of the show in
Yes.
terms of movement. All the way down to like most of the meme poses and stuff being just tropes at this point. So like flexibility, acrobatics and stuff, definitely not super uncommon. Now, compared to other hero shooters, it's definitely a lot zippier
Yeah.
as well, but also hero shooters as a genre has been kind of dying for a little bit.
Right.
Because there are a few outstanding examples and then the rest don't typically last too long. And unfortunately, Evolution might also be down that road right
Yeah.
now just because of its own
Team player numbers.
average. Yeah.
Like yesterday or the
Not
day
looking
before.
too good. The fact that we also don't have the console release and the fact that they're only just now talking about region unlocks down to like I think Australia and New Zealand being the last ones all the way out in season 3. They're just
Ooh.
talking about season 2 now.
Oh no. Yeah, the other thing
Yeah.
too, they're down to like I think two or 3 days ago. Someone in chat said that they were down to 1,700 peak concurrent. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Well, and then I know Gustav mentioned this before in the past, but like the fact that Overwatch 2 dropped like, what was that, like a couple of weeks to a month after Evolution dropped, or like somewhere the time frame was like really close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Overwatch 2 dropped, like everybody more or less flocked to that. And then everybody who stayed in Evolution just kind of went, well, okay, I guess that's just how it's going to be. So it kind of took a hit there.
And then you only get 2 suits for free, essentially. There's no way to actually unlock all the suits, so if it's going to be a competitive
There's also just been no other announcements of suits.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming is going to be each season, and in which case we might not have the beginner event, or an event with it, so you might only get 1 suit every time they come out with, like, possibly 3 different suits. So that's kind of rough. So it's like, you know, if... And then balancing comes into play, so, you know, you like... If you got the melee, right now the melee had the best ult, now it has a really good ult, but I don't know if I would still say it was the best ult anymore.
Right.
So it's like, I think maybe the Dom Trooper might have the best ult. But the point being, it's just like, you know, if you spend your points on that, I mean, I am raising my hand there. I still like the melee, but it's like, you can definitely feel the nerfs. They definitely hit that thing pretty hard. Now, is it underpowered now? I'm not exactly sure, but... Also, too, haven't been able to really find a rank game either. So, whoops.
Yeah, actually, like, what are your average times weight-wise for that now?
Too long. I think I said
GBO
10
too
to
long
20,
or just too long?
Like 10 to 20 minutes waiting for it, and then being like, okay, let's swap to the JP client or JP server and see if we get some games there and play with like 400 ping and cry. But I still got a game at least.
Wait, so you're saying like 10 to 20 minutes for a match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
me.
Yeah,
that's me giving up on
that's
getting a match.
GBO.
Gosh.
Yeah, I like that's after I'm 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I've given up those 2 times, and that was the last 2 times I tried to stream it.
Wow.
But then, you know, I came back after I played on the JP server, and then was like, oh, yeah, we found a game. So it was about 5 minutes when you do find one. But the thing is, they were probably in a match both times I tried to queue, right? So, you know, and then maybe one person dipped, and I was already queued up, so then I took the first spot, and then everybody else kind of filled in. And that's the other problem. You literally see around wherever your elo is, you, like, whatever your rank is, you literally see the same, like, 8 out of 10 people every game. So,
oh, gosh.
Yeah, so that can get a little monotonous, which, I mean, I've been experiencing that in Paragon, but I'll mention that briefly here later. But yeah, that's pretty much been my experience with Evo. So it might be dead game status pretty soon. I'm hoping, the only hope I think is the season 2. They come out with a season 2 and they do some very consumer friendly things of like, hey, here's the suits, and also competitive game friendly things, being like, hey, here's the suits. Because if you can't compete because you don't have the best thing, then that's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but yeah, let's go ahead. Emblem, I know you already kind of talked a bit, but what have you had going on?
Oh, nothing
Just
too
GBO2?
crazy. Yeah, lots of work. And honestly, I don't know. I'm still like trying to find a good balance with my new diet. Like yesterday, I had the worst fucking headache like all day. It was awful. I don't know if it's like I think they call it keto flu or whatever. I don't know if it's something like that, but I get that sometimes right now, and I can still kind of work, but I just don't want to interact with like real people during that time because it's weird. Like you'll get plenty of sleep, but like your head will just be ripping apart, and you're just like, I'm just like tired.
How much water are you
for, like
drinking?
No reason.
Because you're doing low carb, right? Keto?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much water are you drinking?
I think I'm getting plenty of water. Like I think they want me to drink like 8 cups or something like that at least each day. I usually go through like 3 liters most days.
Try one of these 2, because depending on, do you filter your water?
Yeah.
Okay, you need electrolytes too. Your body needs electrolytes to also then absorb the water. So if you filter it, it gets rid of a lot of anything that's in it, any kind of like, which I mean, normally they pump it full of chlorine if you're just doing tap anyway, so you still want to filter it. but also like anything like magnesium,
Mhm.
sodium, stuff like that. You definitely want that so that your body absorbs it. If it doesn't have that, then yeah, that's typically where I see a lot of headaches come from. When especially if because I track my stuff, what I eat and drink a lot of times. So yeah, that's pick up Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero, drink like 1 or 2 of these a day,
Mhm.
and probably about half a gallon to a gallon of water with it. That's
Oh, okay.
typically what I do when I go full low carb.
Mhm.
Which I mean, I'm typically low carb anyway, but when I'm like, like say one day
In there.
I just like I'm gonna have a salad with like no dressing and just have like bacon for breakfast, and why
Mhm.
not the rest of the bacon for dinner? If that's my meal for the entire day with some
Mhm.
vegetables that have no carbs, then yeah, I make sure I drink like a gallon of water at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay.
And also, if you drink caffeine, you definitely want to like add double the water kind of thing because
Oh, sure.
it dehydrates you. So that
That
can
makes
also
sense.
cause some headaches. But I definitely know those pains.
But
Speaking of like caffeine and shit,
mhm.
I'm probably in the long run, if I keep doing this for like the next couple of years or so, I wouldn't be surprised if like next year, if I start having kidney problems because of how much I'm working and how long I have to stay up half the time.
Mhm. Ugh, don't push yourself.
Just drink water and make sure you go to the bathroom. And
Keep that
2 main
stress down.
things.
But yeah, I mean, but outside of that, um still been gaming. Like I was touching back on Super Robot Wars original generation 2, the PS2 version. And maybe that's why you brought up SRW earlier too, because it was something I played all through 1 and started 2 and just haven't really got a chance to touch back on it. So just mess around with that. Although I need to play Sonic Frontiers. All these games come out, and
I heard it's
I'm
on
like,
Steam.
wait,
Yeah,
that's already out?
Frontiers has been fun so far.
I didn't know it
Been
was on
enjoying
Steam.
that.
I'm like, it's on Steam.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, I definitely need to get that because I love like I almost said Battle Alliance.
Alliance is fun too.
Adventure 2 Battle. Just
Oh my god.
just no alliance, but just battle. Like I played that. I played the original on Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, and then the Battle came out with the GameCube. Had to get it, dude. Oh, live and learn. But I heard there's like some crazy weird metal EDM metal thing for boss fights now.
Boss fights scenes are really pretty wild. There's a lot of lyric heavy stuff for bigger scenes too so far. So like
That's
it's
nothing
been hype.
too crazy, is it? I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle had like Live and Learn. What's
Well, like I heard it was like hard metal sometimes, like that
Yeah,
doesn't
it's been pretty good.
necessarily fit the fight sometimes, but it's crazy and wacky.
The supersonic fights are pretty fitting. As to what other stuff, because I'm only in the second like zone so far, so like maybe some of the other ones are a little bit weird, but so far it's been pretty good.
Also, if you upload any of that, let me know if there's any like DMCA stuff, because apparently that's been possibly an issue with that game.
Part 1 hasn't gotten hit yet. As to whether or not the bots are just getting to it or not, or if maybe it's just later on in the game, we'll see.
Because apparently that's some famous singer or something.
Because like Triangle Strategy didn't have any problems for a while, and then after a while, some of the bots started crawling around those, and that's why a bunch of the OST for that game got taken down off of YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
They did a big crackdown specifically for those. Square Enix is a little inconsistent. It might also just be the record, depending on who the composer was, though.
Yeah, because I know Sonic 06 got, I think it was T-Pain, wasn't it? With Dreams Come True, just in like the remix of the Sonic 2 theme for that game.
Yes, let's go.
So maybe that was something like that. Gustav, can you play any of the other characters, or do you just play Sonic?
As far as I know, it's just Sonic right now.
That's a bit disappointing.
Now, whether or not we'll get DLC later on down the line, I don't know. But the premise of the story kind of keeps them from doing that. I don't want to say too much. It's not super deep, but like, yeah, just generally the way it's set up, you're just Sonic.
I think a lot of the problem. Tails is the best Sonic character. Don't at me, But I think a lot of problems with the more modern Sonic games is that they don't let you play as the other characters.
Well, the funny thing is that the original problem with modern Sonic games was the opposite. They involved them too much and people didn't like it.
Really? I thought it was just camera issues.
That was like one of the bigger parody things that people would make fun of. It's just like, oh, it's Sonic and then this guy and another OC and then just big wave. So like originally the complaints were that, and then they try to focus on him. And I think after a while they just kind of forgot how to fucking make Sonic work by himself, and that's why a lot of the newer titles are a struggle.
That's interesting.
I would also like to remind everybody that this is a Gundam podcast. I swear to God, I promise you.
Definitely not tangenting this time.
It's worse now because there's fucking 4 of us now. So
yeah,
but Omega's gonna be in GBO2. That's a robot.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ami with the tails or
GBO2
fails,
really does
right?
need more crossovers now at this point, though. Holy
I
shit.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Every good mobile or gacha game.
Even
needs
Evolution,
the
at the very
crossover.
least, gave us some sprays and stamps for Witch from Mercury. I know it's an
Right.
AU, but like something,
Right.
a
Yeah,
billboard
I
or
didn't
something,
The Gundam
some
franchise.
sort of photo op or whatever. Like fuck.
Yeah, I
Get
figured they
that
do
dude
that.
on Maniac shirt into GBO2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get Mass and Kaiser in there. Yeah.
go, dude.
bro.
Oh my gosh, that thing would be a 100% of fucking raid.
My leg. Although I feel like I'm a raid main these days because the past like 3 times I've played, I've been playing like the Red Rider and the GOG just about every game. But you know, also because there's like everybody wanting to play the new thing. But we'll talk about that here in a sec. But yeah.
Also, the raid would be Maz and Emperor G. Just saying.
I know I said this earlier, but Emblem on me with the tells or fails comment. I there you go.
Wait, what?
Tells or fails, like tells or the game fails.
Oh yeah, like I personally like a lot of the older ones, like Sonic Heroes and stuff like that, where you play as all the different characters. I just hate the way they portray them in a story now. Like Tails is badass as shit, but like in the more recent games, they like make him out to be some kind of like codependent, total bitch, and it's so unfortunate, man. Like I think Sonic 3 portrayed the characters, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I should say, portrayed the characters the best. Like if Tails, or like if Sonic died or went missing, Tails would just beat ass. Like there wouldn't be any fucking crying. He would just beat the shit out of Dr. Robotnik. That's exactly what would happen. He would invent some shit and beat the fuck out of Dr. Robotnik.
I mean,
it wouldn't be a question.
Like if I want to recall, like wasn't Tails pretty just like heartless with some of his stuff, like in some of those?
I mean, I couldn't say for some of the old stuff. I don't think
the old stuff pretty much portrayed him as a baby. Like legit. They played really hard on him. Just
maybe I'm just remembering.
I don't know.
That
sounds like some Archie comic.
Yeah, stuff. I feel like I'm remembering a meme at this point.
You're talking about some IDW shit right there.
I was about to say that sounds like the old like Sonic cartoons. Holy crap.
Now you're not wrong there. Shit gets crazy as far as I'm concerned. There's like alternate universe tales and who knows
Mega Man crossovers and all
this
fuckery. So.
Who fucking knows?
But yeah, also with another comment, yeah, Gustav with the Gundam, and then me with the Bud Sonic.
Please.
But yeah, Gustav, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
I've been playing this really awesome game, playing Gundam Battle Operation 2. I'm sure you've heard of it at this point, right? If you haven't, it's a free-to-play PlayStation game, 6v6 maximum team game. I may or may not be playing it right now. Even.
Oh, it's already out.
Wow, it's been out for 4 years just to celebrate its anniversary. Oh, goody.
I can't wait for its questionable PC release.
Oh yeah, right.
Literally, like even now. And the second I ever get rated, or every once in a while, if someone notices I'm on, or like any news about the PC release.
Where's that PC release?
We gotta get that. Which one? What console you playing on, bro? Are you playing on PC right now? No.
It's PC.
No,
they postponed the PC release so they could work on the Game Gear version.
No.
Gear version, yes.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm just glad they stopped working on the Engage port.
Oh, I was trying to think of what the fucking console for the phone was. Damn it.
Oh
God.
Oh no.
They're gonna put on calculators next. It's just gonna be Doom levels of ports.
If I can't play GBO2 on my fridge, what's even the point?
Samsung fridge. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It's like, yeah. So you're playing GBO2 on your PC finally, huh? Well, look at my Sony whatever fridge this is with the compatible touchscreen. Hell, it
Get
even
it on
has
the
USB.
Whirlpool,
It has
bro.
USB ports
Yeah.
for a PS5 controller. Like,
Okay, real talk though. Real talk. Like I can't remember which one kind of showed up first, but I remember the Ruse trailer where it was like two people sit down at a table and start doing like a touch table like version of the game kind of thing, which was definitely not the game at all or how it played. But the thing is, like around that time, the amount of touch tables that were just like a friend of mine, like at his house because he had everything because rich person problems. But yeah,
Problems
he
is a generous term.
he had the touch table, of course, and was like, yeah, I could play RTS games by using my hands on this touch table and reduce my APM by like 5 million. So yeah, I'm gonna wreck you. And I'm like,
okay.
Sure.
Give me that extra arm action, bro. You better be working out.
But it
Yeah,
was
the worst part
cool.
is you
It
have to
was
be
really
a
cool.
Icon presser. No hotkeys on the tablet table. You have to click the buttons for the Marines.
Well,
Yeah,
what we
that's
did,
Says,
we used the like for back in high school. We used the like they started getting those like smart teaching boards or whatever.
Oh,
So we
smart
had the
boards.
projector.
Yeah.
We had the projector,
Oh.
and you just touch where the projector is, and that was the screen. So we were
Mhm.
I like hooked up a thing and had we were like playing like Age of Empires on the touch projector, and so that was a lot of fun. I remember doing that. So it was definitely fun. Effective? No, not at all. But fun, yes. But the yeah. Anyway, but as far as my stuff, pretty much been playing GBO2, trying to keep up with that. Went hard in No Man's Sky. Can't wait to go hard in it again. It's actually a game now. It's actually 6 years later. It's a whole lot better. Am I still mad? Yes, because my piece on this is that we shouldn't be praising them. They still messed up. Like it's a good thing what it is right now, but they still messed up. Never forget. I'm just saying.
Took them
What?
6 years to get it up and running,
I mean, I think
more or less.
I think it was like 5 or something was the last update. I can't remember when the last update was, but yeah. But right now it's a pretty solid, okay game. Honestly, though, if this is what they came out with, I still think people would be mad because of how the expectations were out into like the Andromeda galaxy from where we're at. So yeah, like expectation was so far it was unrealistic no matter what they came out with. But still,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
What you gonna do?
it's kind of like if Cyberpunk actually came out with a proper game, like it still would probably have people complaining about something. But
Yeah.
and then they also No Man's Skied it. But anyway,
yeah.
other than that, Paragon is back, sort of. They bought the rights to the name of it, so Overprime did. So Paragon is back, and I've been addicted because I'm a MOBA addict. I have a
I've seen you
problem,
play it, yeah.
and I've done like 3 or 4 14-hour-ish streams. So, oops. But yeah. And then other than that, GBO2 thing has been trying to keep up with the dailies because I need to get back to 195 tokens because Tinfoil Hat, 4-star I bet coming out at the end of this month.
Oh.
And hopefully it's finally a support because I really don't see them
No.
putting a support out on
If
Christmas.
it is a support, it's gonna be bad.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep,
it's
sounds
got to be
about
hey, they got the Stein in. We have the things that the back things they actually
Mhm.
detach. The full armor unicorn. It has 2 fuel tanks that are nukes that it detaches.
They're not gonna put a fucking
Full
do
armor
anything
unicorn.
like that on
Come
a
on,
support.
it just
No,
turns
it's gonna be
it just turns
the
into the-
support's gonna be Beneji's G-Gun or
I could
whatever the hell
dream.
he had.
I could
That
dream.
had to like change its arm out every time it shot its gun.
Oh
Oh,
my
that was
goodness.
that
Yeah.
was the silver bullet suppressor.
Okay, I was gonna say Silver
Yeah.
Bullet, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the
that
silver
one.
bullet suppressor.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Yeah,
Silver
you're
Bullet.
gonna
and you
shoot,
fire it once,
and you
then have to change your arm out.
deactivate the suit for 3 years, and the ray just
Yep.
looks at you.
Yep.
Normal support play.
I'm still hoping for the mass production new. Like
Yeah.
Well, and then an idea that I had, and I've probably mentioned this like multiple times, but so for like the mass production new Gundam, seeing how it technically has 2 equipment types, I'm having a feeling that they're going to do general support, and what they would end up doing is making the incom type a general and making the fin funnel type a support, which means that would be the first support type to have fin funnels.
It's gonna be a raid.
I hate you.
It's not gonna be a support. It's gonna be a raid.
Oh no! See, this is what I want. I want
and
the
then
support.
like but
it's
the
probably
thing is that the incom type technically has double Zeta beam sabers, plus having a normal.
Which is exactly why it would be a raid.
Yeah.
The incom type.
Probably.
Yeah.
But real quick too, the other thing before we actually get into more of the past stuff. So one thing I wanted to mention here, and pretty much for Downtime in the Hangar. After this, we'll probably still have something with Downtime in the Hangar. We'll figure that out or whatever. But I'm also going to announce at some point, sometime, cough cough, or at least here's an announcement for it. You know, if it happens 2 years down the line. But I'm also going to do a version of Downtime, which is just going to be something that's about literally anything.
Oh God! Don't do that. It's gonna be Downtime in the Tangent.
Yeah, that's
pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Only it's just going to be called Downtime.
We're just gonna call it Tangents in the Hangar.
That's gonna last 6 hours a day.
Other than that, yeah, so it might just be me doing random stuff or random guests or whatever, but that's going to be a thing at some point somewhere down the line. And then Downtime in the whatever is going to be like the more dedicated topics. So Downtime in the Hangar will still be probably GBO2 related or something like that. But yeah, just wanted to kind of mention that right now, and we'll probably have another episode at the end of the month at least. And then possibly hiatus things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah,
the first guest on Downtime is going to be Joe Rogan, so make sure.
Yep.
Oh no, dude.
Already in the talks.
Oh no,
already in the talks.
That's why it's going to take a while to get set up. Just we promise. Just be excited for it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Please understand.
It's not like we shoved like $2 million in front of his face or anything.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's that. So anyway, the past GBO2 things and stuff, and very specific topic lists that we have.
Yes.
I figured we'd literally go back to start this off to kind of the beginning where we started at, and also the question, might as well answer this at the same time: what got us into Gundam and what got us into GBO2? So who wants to go first?
I don't mind leading in.
I was about to say, yeah.
Pretty easy. I'm a 90s kid, so for me it was stuff on Toonami. I watched my fair G
Is he breaking up for you guys?
No, he's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear me? Hello.
Your voice is going. Your camera's
There we go.
fast forwarding.
We caught. Yep. There we go.
Okay, maybe we had some connection issues. For me, it's just like most 90s kids, Gundam Wing and G Gundam, kind of like the big starters for me. I remember seeing a few episodes of OG Gundam. Like, there was like a brief period of time where Toonami did like Mecha Week or whatever, or month or something, where they showed like a bunch of robot anime, and I got exposed to the garbage fire that's Eva.
Oh Christ, yeah. The Eva dub too to boot.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So there was that, but mainly just G Gundam and Gundam Wing, especially G Gundam. G Gundam's fucking fire. Gundam Wing's cool too, of course. Zeta Gundam's better, but you know, that's not fair to compare like, you know, greatness to fucking Gundam Wing. So what you gonna do? But yeah, sorry, Wing fans. I was one of you until I watched a good Gundam show, and I was like,
I still take slight offense. I have also watched a very good Gundam show with like 8th MS Team, or the best, you know. But still like my Wing, okay, man.
Yeah.
I feel attacked here.
Nah, Wing's good. But it's just you learn you get your training wheels with Wing, and then you go watch real Gundam, adult Gundam stuff. You know.
I mean, my turn to attack. You know, it could be 00. You know, discount Wing.
00 is pretty
Yeah.
bad, so I don't
Damn.
disagree with you there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that I think like I had a we talked about this before, but I had like the little old Gundam action figure set that was like not a model kit, but like a
Oh, the MS in action stuff.
maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was called. But it had like
Yeah,
everything, like
let's
the
go.
beam javelin, like the hyper bazooka. It had the full kit. And I used to play around with that all the time. That was pretty
Let's
cool.
go. Heavy weapons do. Let's go.
I got some of the what was the
Literally
status
this
memory stuff.
only. I've got the original Gundam in there, and it had the G-Bull and everything in that pack. Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh my god!
I don't
right.
remember it happened to G-Bull, but you know, I may not have known what the G-Bull was. I never messed with it. I could have been like, "What the fuck is a stupid tank?" and just like threw it away. Who knows? But I don't remember that particular part. But I will say though, my first model kit was Gundam Maxter.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad got me that for like I think it was for like Christmas one year. So that was pretty cool because you know we got to get the America Gundam, so we can Boxer people. But yeah, so just kind of did that. Checked out mecha stuff in general, and as far as like playing GBO1, I at the time I was just really into getting on my Japanese PlayStation account, and I would like check the store every week and just see what's out. And Battle Operation was there. This is like around the time the game first dropped. I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I downloaded it and played for like probably a few months. And I had the problem that probably most Western people did when they booted the game up. Was like you get into a match and you have like whatever suit you start on, like Zaku or whatever, or GN, depending on which faction you were on at the time. And you would hit the go button, and you couldn't start a match. You're like, but I've got a suit. What's going on? And you don't realize they're like off cost or something like that. Had that happen way too much.
Oh, I think he's talking to chat.
Yeah.
Right there I was, yeah. But yeah, and then after that, like just later down the line, I saw that GBO2 had its beta test. And I was like, oh, GBO2. Like I played GBO1. I need to definitely check it out. And you know, the game released and I was playing it the first week, and then we're here in the present.
Sit down.
Yep.
Never mind. Okay, you actually answered
What
that.
happened?
I was like, so what? And no, never mind. He said the thing. Never mind. I derped. That's all.
Mm.
Tired.
So I
Tired
actually
brain is
missed
tired.
out on Battle Operation. I knew about it, but during that era, I was actually on 360. Didn't really get a PS3, and it wasn't until a while after that I found out about GBO2 through the usual YouTube channels, stuff like that. Also, a lot of JP stuff that was coming out at the time, and eventually ended up biting the bullet, making a JP account, and just getting in there. It's probably one of the few exceptions that I've made to like actually getting something that wasn't just on the US end yet. But it's interesting because the progression, it felt like it was a while just because honestly I was playing like every day. But the progression from like where it was to getting the English patch and then eventually actually doing the release wasn't actually that long. So it was pretty interesting. I've always had a lot of Gundam from like Wing onwards, other mecha stuff that was put on different channels. So just kind of, oh my god, I'm on a side note, I'm in a match and I know somebody in here, but they're trying to do Space Gun Tank at level 4.
So, Gustav, just real quick, since you were 360, or what was your favorite 360 RPG, and why was it Tales of Vesperia?
I don't know, because I didn't have that.
Damn. Okay, Eternal Sonata. Why? What made you like that game so much?
I mean, what about Blue Dragon, bro?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Unfortunately, during that time, I was pretty much just chasing different shooters and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And to be honest, I still kind of considered my PlayStation to just be like the RPG machine.
Oh,
so, and there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say the big regret came from a lot of the stuff on PS3 essentially making it the Weep station. And I was like, I have made a mistake. Like once I started getting more into that, I was like, I need one of these instead. And then so when the next generation came, PS4 was pretty much just a no-brainer and definitely paid off. So I'd like to go back. It's a little unfortunate that a lot of the PS Now stuff for PS3 is still mostly just like streamed as opposed to download, but you know, the library is growing, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not really holding my breath for too many PC ports outside of, you know, the usual Yoho shit, but we'll just have to see how that goes. I really like looking from the past into the future. I do hope that we get some other Gundam announcements.
Yeah.
Right. I will say,
Going
as far
forward,
as
especially because we're like, this is a really weird time where like the IPs are a little bit more active than the actual game stuff because everything right now is winding down. We don't really know if Battle Alliance is really going to get any more DLC. SRW just got a patch, but it was pretty minor. It's mostly just stability and then whatever the report card thing is. And then Evolution, you know, as we were talking about, pretty much on the decline already. They're talking about a couple more seasons, but I don't know how long that's going to last. And then GBO2 is still going strong, but because it's a 4-year-old game, it's not really getting pressed outside of here, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't have its own esports page, inexplicably, unlike Evolution, which is already pretty much dead in the water. So you know that's a grand idea. They're trying to drum up. They did a post for season 2, I think earlier today, but even that's kind of like So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I really yearn for the old Gundam releases from back in the day. A lot of that time for me was just renting stuff. One that I did miss that I did wish that I got was Gundam versus Zeta Gundam. But back then I didn't really have much knowledge about Zeta Gundam outside of like what I'd seen in the guidebook back in the day. So I was like, that looks cool. I don't know what the hell that is, and there's still no real way to watch it outside of some of the more recent Gundam info like drops. Which thank goodness. But I wonder what that would even be if they actually went back and tried to do like another dub, like take a crack at that. That'd be hilarious.
yeah, that's pretty
That would be
swish.
weird. You know, I'm honestly...
Double Zeta is a whole different beast.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
It's hard.
I was about to
Yeah,
say,
I had
like,
I had to reference the
honestly
swish.
I honestly wonder what it would have been like if they actually managed to get Double Zeta dubbed back then. Like, I wonder how like the dub would hold up, like to today's standards, if it was actually dubbed back then.
Tsunami's dead again, right?
Sort of,
kinda.
Actually,
Really?
wait, didn't they just have like they've got like Made in Abyss and some other stuff going on it right now, right? Technically, is it still?
I think so.
Is it still, or is it just under Adult Swim? I know Adult Swim.
I thought they
doing stuff.
resuscitated Tom.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I mean,
They did for a little bit, but then I was hearing stuff about it like kind of declining again, and I was like, is it gone already, or is it just like
I
in a
actually
dry
saw
spell, like show wise?
when my mom was stopping by, she was just watching random TV, and just on like HGTV or some random channel, I don't know what channel it was, but like just some random channel, there was like Toonami and this anime is something. I'm like, wait, what?
Ooh, cool.
Like, there's a commercial for this on like this
Let's
random
go.
channel for
Toonami
and Adult
presents.
Swim. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's
And
pretty high.
nowadays, it always
Let's go.
feels like it's just streaming platform wars, so I hardly ever considered it after they did the initial revival.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Hopefully they keep chugging on then. Because like Witch of Mercury, I feel like people are just kind of vibing with the episodic releases. I don't know if there's ever going to be a time maybe after the first season or whatever wraps up that they'll actually try to talk about like distribution and stuff.
Well, they're still only doing.
Yeah, like we're still in
subs at the
TV
moment,
mode right now. Yeah, because it's still being aired.
Yeah, they just.
Oh, did they actually go through the dubbing already?
No.
I heard they dubbed the main song, but I don't know if they've done anything else besides that.
I'm sad we just had a recap episode this past week.
Yeah, no Soletta Sunday feels bad.
Yep. Big
But
way.
Sunday, get your Soletta.
But like right now, I don't know if there's gonna be a real platform for like Gundam crossovers for them outside of stamps and art, like they did for Evolution. So like that's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm. They'll put the suit in the lobby on GBO2. Just look. No
They probably
touchy.
should have.
yeah, right.
I agree.
But,
A lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Maniac,
Yee.
your turn. Where did you get your start into the Gundam and the game?
So let's see here. In terms of getting into Gundam, well, I have a brother who's well in his 30s, and so I more or less he kind of grew up with the Toonami era, and kind of through that he bought the original whenever he could. He would find like the original Bandai releases of like the Gundam shows, so 8th MS Team, G Gundam, Wing. He found at the time the movie collection for 0079, so which contained Char's Counterattack and Miller's Report. I don't remember if he ended up getting all of the DVDs of 8th MS Team or if he was missing one. I'm trying to remember if he got them all or not. But I do remember there was a few. He didn't get everything, but I do specifically remember him getting Collection 1 of 0083, both collections of Wing. He ended up, like I said before, the movie trilogy and collection for the original Gundam series. Most of Zeta, I think we were missing one disc. I think we were missing one DVD of all of Zeta. But yeah, he more or less had most of it, if not all of it. Except for we were missing a few DVD releases of G Gundam. Just a few, I think maybe 3 discs. So yeah, other than that, we had most of it, and then he bought like a crap ton of MS in Action, which was fun to play with as a kid. So yeah, that's kind of like how I got into Gundam.
Now the real question is, what's a DVD? I only
What's
stream
a DVD?
no.
I only stream and direct download nowadays.
Oh,
What's
no.
a DVD?
I don't know. I think I'm
good.
old enough to know what a VHS is. I think.
Yeah, I got Gundam. I got
Says the
Gundam
man that's
Wing.
still in his 20s.
I got Gundam Wing on that VHS over there.
Yeah, I'm still in my 20s.
I got Char's Counterattack on
I'm
another
the
one.
youngest here. Oh
I
man!
got record button on the VCR.
VCR.
Gosh, I remember those VCR DVD combos. Like we've always had those. I don't know why, but the VHS piece would always fucking break. I don't know why, and I don't know how it would always break, but it was always the DVD side that would always work. Like the VHS side, like, I don't know, like after a month or so, it just like die. And I'm like, but we spent like $70, $80 on this thing. Like, why? Like back when they were new, it's like, gosh, it sucked. And then I got a PS2 from a buddy of mine, which was in terrible condition because he did not take care of his game systems very well. But that was my DVD player for a while.
Yeah. Sometimes double up as
Most people,
multimedia. I remember when the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market.
Damn.
Yep.
You'd get shot in the parking lot if you tried to buy one of those.
Yep.
Damn right.
So in terms of getting into GBO2, honestly, it was through a buddy of mine that mentioned the first game that I know through Discord. And then I guess
Was this buddy
out on a-
Rob or was this someone
No,
else?
actually, no. This was before I met Rob. Like,
Okay.
this was way before I met Rob. So a buddy of mine mentioned Battle Operation, and then I thought to myself, that name kind of sounds familiar, because I remember as a kid, you know, in the early days of YouTube being the Wild West, you could pretty much find whatever the hell you can find, right? And I specifically remember, and I didn't realize this was Battle Operation, but there was a Gundam game that had you able to walk around on foot and also get into mobile suits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want these games.
I
What
love
do you mean
Crisis.
I can like, I want to run around on foot and fire off a bazooka and run to my
Wait, one
Gundam?
game.
Like, come on now. Like, so like, I found it. I don't know how the hell I even found it, but like, I found the video, and then like, years later, it just kind of disappeared in the ether, like, of my head. Like, it just left, and I just didn't ever remember it, like, years later. And then, like I said, a buddy of mine mentioned GBO2, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then, this was like during the early days of me like actually starting to get into Twitch. And so I was kind of like roaming around. I'm like, oh, okay, so let me see if there's anybody on, you know, YouTube that would do GBO2 or whatever. So I found Rome. So I watched his videos for a long time. And then on Twitch side, funny enough, the very first person that I found playing GBO2 when it was like nearly brand spanking new was this man over here, Emblem.
Oh, my engine pointed at Magnum. I was like, yeah, Magnum.
Oh no. Emblem.
Me? Oh.
Anyway,
Oh.
yeah, funny thing. Yeah, because you were the first streamer that I found playing GBO2. Funny enough. Like, I don't even... I tell you the truth, it was like... I think it was it like... Maybe like a week? Maybe 2 weeks into the game when it was brand new or something like that you were streaming?
Yeah, I was
whatever?
playing pretty early, so...
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this game looks so cool. And then you're like, yeah, it's JP side only. And I'm like, funny enough, I have a JP account that I originally got for SRW stuff. It's like, finally, I can use it for other things than that.
Right?
So, so I was like, all right, cool. GBO2 time. Hell yeah. And then, like, I was playing it, and I'm like, I don't understand this, but I'm gonna try and play this game. And then it was like, gosh. And then this was like way before I even did much of streaming too. So like, I very, very once in a while I'd be streaming for a while, and it was like only like maybe a 2-hour stream, maybe, compared to my 6-hour stream sometimes now. And then I guess Maelstrom said like he watched in the shadows for a long time, and then like, gosh, was it like, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 months in of playing the game, Maelstrom invited me into his group, so I was like, oh, okay, cool, and you know, met Rob and all the other guys, so it was fun, and then kind of went off that way and whatever, and you know, I'm here. It's just like, I guess I'm here. Like,
Several years later.
like, gosh, how long have I been streaming for? Like 4 years? Has it been 4 years?
Well, if he started before on and off, then even longer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2 seconds here. I will tell you when I started.
Oh lord.
All right. Achievements. Gonna scroll all the way down.
Blech.
Way back in 2018. So
Ah.
yeah, May 1st, 2018. So literally like a week or so before my birthday.
Nice.
So yeah, that's how long I've been streaming. In terms of GBO2, I guess like, you know, whenever, like within like a month after it started. So I guess like the early days of GBO2. Yeah.
Dude, you talking about that? I looked at my sub badge. It's like 5.5 years old, and I was streaming probably like another year and a half before that. So I've been streaming for like 7. I was like, geez, I've been making Twitch content too long, man.
It's crazy how time flies, though. It's just like,
Yeah.
it was last week, right? No, it's last year. Okay, whoops.
No, it's been 7 years. Like, no, it hasn't. Like, yeah, it has. Like, holy crap.
Like,
Time does fly.
It's like I remember when the E3 Custom and Blue Destiny Unit 1 was brand new. What do you mean that was like almost 4 years ago?
Thunderbolt, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I remember when exam system was such a big deal.
Oh my goodness, for real though, right? And then the big nerf to it.
And then what was
power
it, like
creep.
E3 custom meta? Yeah.
Yep, yeah, to contain massive threats like the Gunner Gundam.
For real though.
High
right?
output and piercing, bro. My god.
Mm-mm.
And then it got
Support's
nerfed.
too strong.
It got nerfed into the ground for no reason.
And unchanged for some reason.
But yeah, for my start, I have to bring up the VHS thing now because but yeah, back in the day, as a kid, I learned that I could hit the record button on cartoons and record like Looney Tunes and stuff. So yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I have stuff like Char's Counterattack and things on VHS, like some of the original Gundam and like a lot of most of Gundam Wing on VHS. So
the label says Space Jam, but I promise it's HMS Team. Okay.
What's that? Reading Rainbow? Nah, man, that's 8th MS Team.
But yeah, so as far as my start with mech in general, like, giant robots, everybody digs giant robots, just saying. But yeah, for real though, the Toonami start, of course, Gundam Wing, that's why it's near and dear to me, no matter how awkward the Trey's like monologue is with Hero and how weird or awkward that is. But like there's that, then G Gundam, of course, all that stuff, all the typical like round Gundam Wing start that pretty much everybody had. So as far as that goes, that's where it started. I did start on mech before then with like Robotech and stuff, or even if you want to go back before then, there was this little video store that also had games that I could rent for the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, before Blockbuster came about and killed that.
Gosh, Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people today don't even know existed.
Themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Magnum, because I will say I used to play not the 2D fighter game, but we used to rent the like Power Rangers side scroll Shump beat 'em up.
Yeah,
it was like based on the movie, and I loved the missions where you would do the missions into Megazords and stuff. So I could feel you there.
Did those, and then like had the VHS tapes, would rent those that had like Voltron and stuff like that from back in the day. And then like just all that stuff. So that's where I got my start into just giant robots for the most part. And nobody believed me that Robotech ever actually existed on Toonami at any point. They were like, "You mean Gundam, right?" And I'm like,
"No,
well, I like
Robotech.
Gundam. I like Gundam." But even at one point, I forgot the name of it because it just was like I was starting to forget to believe.
Just like an amalgamation of like a bunch of different things too. So
right.
Before we tangent, note, shut up.
Harmony Gold will find us.
Oh yeah. Sorry. We can't talk about it too much.
Right.
But anyway,
it's a Gundam because I knew you were gonna start.
Yeah. There we go. Good call. Gustavo P. But yeah, so pretty much GBO2 though. So back on the Xbox 360, which I assume is what Maniac was talking about, there was a game that was announced that was coming to the West. Finally, I didn't have to have a PlayStation to play Gundam because I was always
Troy.
Yeah, yes, and that's
Troy,
what I thought you were talking about for the game because that was the first one that I saw that you could get out and walk around and then get in and fight.
Huh.
And and I heard that was coming out for the 360, and I was super hyped. And then they were like, "Yeah, never mind. We're only going to do a JP release." And
Operation Troy gameplay
sad.
is hilarious, by the way. Go look it up.
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
it really is. But at the time though, I was like super hyped. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like Chrome Hounds, but you actually can do stuff as the pilot. Not really, but kinda. But yeah. It was speaking of Chrome Hounds real quick. The pilot thing, if you died, you then got to walk around as a pilot and do absolutely nothing. And your bullet did negative damage to the enemy. You like healed an enemy from your machine gun. Like so, you just
No, it's
literally
the GBO2.
yeah. So you literally just walked around and stood there, and all you had was a machine gun. You couldn't literally do anything. You would sometimes get run over by somebody, and I think respawn as a pilot again, or just be dead eternally at that. But anyway, so Troy was the first thing that I heard of any kind of battle operation. Then fast forward, of course, by borrowing friends like consoles and stuff, I would get to play other games like Gundam vs. Zeta, Encounters in Space, and stuff like that.
Also, whoa, Magnum. Operation Troy doesn't get included because it was not involved in the anniversary video.
Oh yeah. It's technically not Operation for some reason.
Yeah, come on, bro.
But
separate game.
Well, actually.
But yeah, then fast forward though till like around the Christmas when they pretty much right after they did the English translation for GBO2, a friend of mine, I believe, found it through I think some of Rob's videos and I think Vion's videos, a couple of them, and then I'm pretty sure those were the videos he was showing me. But either way, he found that it had the English translation, and I was like, "There's an English translation? We finally got something. It's for us." And he's like, "Well, not exactly, but it's got translated because Southeast Asia and stuff. They got the translation." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Let's go!" So
free.
Yeah.
let's go. And then it's also free. So I went ahead and got the JP account because I was like, I want my main account to be the thing though. I don't want to have to collect stuff and then have to recollect stuff if they ever do like any kind of NA thing. So I'm gonna figure this out. So then I went and found out if you do your primary PlayStation, which is what happens if anybody ever hacks your account, they'll take your account and put it as their primary PlayStation, and then that way they can play any of the games associated with your account. But anyway, that's something I found out the hard way, actually.
Oh yikes!
But other than that, so pretty much what happened was I put my JP account as the primary, and then I could play my NA account, so everything was great. So I started just on my NA account, just playing the entire time, and it started I think on the Pell Rider heavy, I guess. But did it even have a tag back then? I think it was just the Pell Rider at the time.
I think the first one was the heavy arms.
Did it actually say heavy arms?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It did.
But yeah, I think that was the actual banner when I first opened the game. And I don't know if I exactly played that week, but then I can't remember what was after that. I think that was the Goof Custom. No, wait, not Goof Custom. The Afreet. Oh no, Afreet Noct I think was the first week.
What's the week one banner? Was it Grandpa Gundam?
So week one. So from what I remember, week one was they had 4 suits.
Shit, was it G3?
It was it was 4 suits. It was Grandpa, Early Production, G3, and
probably the gun tank or something, or the gun cannon or something. I can't remember. I'd have to look.
But yeah, I got started in late December to early January, or even mid-January when I actually started playing, or something like that. So it was somewhere between the Afreet Noct, I think, was before the Pell Rider, or it might have been the Pell Rider, then the Afreet Noct, then there was a dual banner, which was the Afreet DS and something else, right? Was that the two? That was the dual?
Was the DS a dual banner?
I think Maniac.
I know,
Maniac,
no
are you?
BD1 and 2.
I think you're muted. Something broke.
Hmm?
Okay, that explains why he kind of cut out. Nope.
Uh-oh.
He was there for a second.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Nah, I don't know why, but sometimes it'll disconnect. I don't know why. Anyway.
But yeah, which one was the dual banner? I know you knew the answer to this when we talked here the other day.
So,
Was the DS or was it the Goof Custom and something
Oh,
else?
for fuck's sake!
Goof Custom was linked up with the Easy A.
Goof, yeah. So Goof.
I joined after that. I know that much.
So it was Goof Custom and Easy 8, and then E-Free DS and Pixie.
Oh wait, no,
because
no,
Pixie, because it followed the Missing Link story.
Wait, I thought it was something else.
Cross Dimension 0079, which was a Super Nintendo game. So it was here. I got it right here. So the first dual banner was the Thunderbolt units.
Mm.
The second dual banner was Easy 8 and Goof Custom. The third one was the Blue Destiny stuff.
Oh, that's what it was. Blue Destiny. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then Zammel... Gian was by itself. Zammel was by itself. So Zammel was actually a banner. So Zammel was not part of the original crew.
Oh yeah, I went and knocked
Alright.
in Pixie.
People
That's what it
roll
was.
on purpose.
So
Oh man.
It was good that day,
Pixie, Ifrit and Pixie were together.
Mm.
Prototype Gundam was by itself. Hygog was by itself. Sagaki was by itself. Galgoog Cannon was by itself. High Mobility Galgoog was by itself. I'm trying to remember.
It was Slave Wraith and DS. Was the Ifrit DS and the Slave Wraith were the two.
Yes.
That's
Slave
what it
Wraith
was.
and
Was
DS were with each other, and then White Dingo and Vishtanaki were together.
That was the week before, and then before that was the Noct and
Noct.
then Pell Rider. So Pell Rider
Yeah.
Pell Rider was when I first installed the game. Noct, I think, was the week that I first played, because I just remember, like, either me or a friend of mine was like, "What in the world is this Shadow the Hedgehog looking suit here?" And then the Ifrit DS came out, and we were like, "Okay, what is with all these suddenly Shadow the Hedgehog suits? What is this?" The Ifrits, the edge of, like, even more edgier than the Goof suits.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Dude,
So
week one of Free DS was fucking awesome. We used to slay everybody.
It was terrifying.
Not just week one, it was like that whole half a year till they finally nerfed it or whatever, however long that took. That thing was absolutely disgusting. And then they recently buffed it too, and I'm just like, looking at the stats on how well the buffs did, I'm like absolutely terrified now. Funny thing is it seems to die almost more, but its damage and win rate went way up. So I'm like, wait.
And they still haven't adjusted the Cubile into Gunner Gundam.
What a shame.
Yep, they're within expected parameters, I guess.
We want them to explode.
Dude, the Heavy Gundam came out not too long after the Ifrit DS, and I was like, I want that because it's in a cost that I don't have to put up with a Ifrit DS.
Back when the free DS was like the bane of everyone's existence in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it literally killed everything. Generals, it didn't matter. Like, it was the general destroyer.
Didn't it have a tech pose controller? And whatever...
I think it introduced that skill.
I think it's one of the first ones,
yeah. Let's see here.
But, well, here, real quick. One last thing too, as far as the streaming thing, I think the first person that I like, right after, because after you said it, I started thinking about it. When I was like, okay, so let's see, streaming things. Click. There's a category for this. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun. I've gotten to like A. That's pretty high, I guess. I've got my GM Cannon. Yeah, that's the only thing I play. 200 cost, maybe 250. Let's go.
I thought you were all about the Zaku Cannon.
Well,
Magnum.
that's what I transitioned to. So I was GM Cannon, and then like within probably a week or two of streaming, either somebody mentioned that to me, or somebody said it was better, or I don't know if it was in a Discord or wherever. And I was like, okay, I could try a Zaku Cannon. That sounds cool. Let's go. Oh, it's machine gun. Let's go. I like my MGs. And then I was just, 800 games later of, I've got over 1,000 games in the Zaku Cannon. So let's go. And then I had that. That was literally my suit for every cost except for 350 because they didn't have one at the time. And even my 400 was that because I still didn't have any other suits. I definitely didn't have a gun or Gundam. So, oops, gotcha problem. But but yeah. So pretty much, I wanted to say though, I think Gustav was the first one that I actually found like streaming, and I just remember like one of your first comments was like, "Yeah, I do stuff on Facebook, and then I do this sometimes." Was literally the first thing I think I remember you saying.
Yeah.
When I said, "Hey, cool, somebody else is in this category."
Because at the time, I was actually multi-streaming to a bunch of stuff, seeing which one stuck first for like affiliate or like partner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, it became Twitch first. Very different era back then.
Oh, sure.
And then I found Emblem pretty much shortly after that. I kept checking each day because I'm like, okay, there's people that hop on this. Let's go. I'm new to this Twitch thing, sort of, as far as like actually looking for things.
Where are these Twitchers?
Yeah, right. Especially like random categories. So I was like, yeah, there's people that stream Gundam. Let's go, dude. And then then found Emblem doing like community things on either Sunday or Wednesday. I don't remember.
Would have been Wednesday night.
It was one of those 2 days.
No, it was it was Try Hard Tuesdays. That's what it was.
Oh,
it was the Try Hard Tuesdays. Yeah. And I was like, why is it called Try Hard Tuesdays? I'm so confused. And then
TNT.
Eventually I figured that out because of the 2 wins in space. But yeah, so that's definitely a blast from the past. As soon as Maniac mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, let's go, dude.
Yeah. Try Hard Tuesdays originally was me trying to get people in chat who wanted to play like, higher level GBO2 matches. But most of the time I ended up moving away from it because it just kind of devolved into community matches. So we just did community matches.
The other thing too, like as far as we're not too far off. I mean, we're kind of far off, but we're not too far off of anniversary of this. Yeah, with the podcast. So that was actually, I think, maybe 2 months ago, but something like that. Either way, though, it was like about half a year that us 4 got together for the first episode. Might throw in the intro or something random from the first episode at this point.
Yeah.
Editing me, go, maybe, if I have time.
We're counting on
Future Magnum
and Future Magnum. Both Magnums.
Marker,
it's a collaboration of past and present and future Magnum.
Oh my god.
Oh no. But yeah, anyway, darn it, I forgot exactly what I tangented off from to finish that thought. Maniac, what
we
were you
talking
saying
about Santa Hedgehog again?
Oh
right?
no.
No, we were not.
Oh
We
no.
were absolutely
Oh
not
no.
doing that.
No, but Maniac was mentioning something about
Yeah,
some
I'm
of the things
pretty
we've been-
fucking sure. Also not Robotech.
Okay, but
It
anyway,
was Gundam.
the next thing I guess, as far as topics, unless Maniac, you remember where your thought was on that. My bad. But the next thing in time, as far as what we've done, or what the game has done, what was your favorite time in GBO2?
Ooh.
Like, for me, I have a very specific kind of 2 or 3. Personally, I love the slower, because I mentioned Chrome Hounds earlier. I like the slower, more like slow pace combat, which these days it's pretty fast. You pop NTD on the Unicorn and you be moving for days, and it's kind of crazy. Especially some of the raids they've come out with like their flight boost, extra awesome hyper booster nonsense skills that they have × 3, all that nonsense.
We call it flexible thruster.
Yeah, that thing. And they have all those. And like for me though, back in the day, getting the Dom Barrage was one of the most awesome things, even though it took so long for me to get it.
Intensifies in chat.
Yes.
Intensify.
And thus the Intensify was born. But other than that, I think the slower days around the Dom Barrage, and then it got buffed. The buff, back in the day, before all this beam rifle nonsense, people used bazookas, and you shot next to somebody's feet. And then there were 2 suits pretty much that had explosive reactive, which I think was introduced. Was it the GM?
It
I
was
want
the
to say the
Slave Wraith.
slave wraith.
Was it the Slave Wraith?
introduced
Okay.
it.
Yeah, the slave wraith
And
had
then-
it, and they also gave it to the
Desert
GM,
type.
striker.
Well,
Desert type, I
they-
feel
yeah,
like used it
Desert,
a little bit
yeah.
better.
Desert type,
Yeah.
and then they gave it to the Dom Barrage. And when they gave it to the Dom Barrage, it was like, even though it's a big suit, when they would hit next to you, that was kind of what everybody did, was shoot next to you. And it was just like, nope, now I get to stun you. Aha!
Not no more. No splash damages for you.
Yeah, so
And
that
you could dash and fire a flare at people in
Yeah.
the slave wraith. It was cool.
Mhm.
But so that there was that time. But I think my all-time favorite, just because supports were OP, and it's one of my favorite suits. If I have the figure here for it, I do not. But the GBO2. Now, sadly, I didn't get the raid, and I didn't even get the support one till later. But even then, it still lasted for months and months of just people complaining on Reddit, Twitter, everywhere, that the MLRS was way too overpowered. Prior to that, they were also complaining that the raid version was too overpowered, and I forget which. I think the raid version kind of, sort of, died out slightly first, but the
Oh, for
support,
sure.
the support stayed just because it had the big shield and everything. Pretty much just had one main stun, and build up wasn't really the biggest thing yet. So, even when the Rebawu came out, that was its main gimmick. It still, most of the time, had to deal with your shield. So even though it could stun you, if you turned the right way, it would have to then reposition to actually try to follow up a little bit or knock you over. And even then, if you fell, luckily, in the right position, then your shield absorbed a lot of the missiles. Otherwise, you still could probably die in one combo, but it was still the only thing that prevented you from dying from the Rebawu, which was kind of the
Also,
best
man, I
thing
was
at the
talking
time.
about the Bawu. The Rebawu would eat the MLRS's lunch.
Oh, sorry.
Just putting that
Oh
out
my
there.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Bawu. Sorry, just the Bawu, not the Rebawu. The Rebawu is actually insane. It's overpowered and needs nerfed more than anything else.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But anyway,
It's fine.
it's better than the 4-star that they just came out with at 650. But anyway, sorry, the Bawu, the raid Bawu. But yeah, the Bawu though was kind of the best raid at the time, and even then, like, you could still deal with it. Till people started getting really good with it, then it kind of started dying out a bit more. But
Just say
That
the
was
Bawu
pretty much
seems
the
like it had a
end.
good setup.
yeah, that was the end of that MLRS era. Essentially, was the Bawu. But for a little bit of time, we still had our glory days there as support
Yeah,
players.
even more so when the Georgia came out. When the Georgia dropped,
Oh,
that was it for the MLRS.
Yeah, that was just
Two
game
tap
over.
stuns to wherever you shoot. Let me just chain combo you until I get around that shield and then two shot you.
Yeah. So either
Yeah,
you get
man.
around it or you just break it in a couple down
was-
swings.
I
Yeah.
was about to say, like, either you downswing the shield and then you just go boom. It's like, oh well, there goes the shield.
And then sadly, the final nail in the coffin was heavy attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
shield,
sure.
what's that? No.
Yeah, I'll hit the shield, and it goes straight to you. Free hitbox. Let's go.
And takes your life points. Oh.
What's that? I'm a gazelle. What's that? You got a big old shield? Let me just bah. It's like, nope. All right.
Penetration.
But yeah, so that was definitely mine. That was my favorite
Oh.
time, of course, because that was
Yeah.
when supports were feared even by the raid. That was the max hubris of supports.
And
Oh
then
no, that plateau only gets higher. It's
yeah.
not impossible.
Oh man.
Oh, no. That's where the max hubris was born. That's where it started climbing.
We can go with that. I saw support mains who fucking stand their ground when I rushed them out as a raid. I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you still here?"
But yeah. Who's next? Favorite time? Emblem, go.
Magnum remembers the days when people shot at your feet to stun you. I remember when you would used to get chain stunned by machine guns. Because way back in the day, the way build-up stagger worked is you could get multiple stats of build-up stagger. So like you'd have like, because the real menace was the Zaku 2 Kai,
Yes.
It was the only suit. It was like the only suit with a dodge roll, pretty much that everybody had because everyone started with it at the high cost of like what was it, 350, 250.
So
Mm.
it's for like its base cost was 250, and at the highest at the time was 350. The 400 didn't come in until way later.
It would have had to have been 4. Was it? Because I thought Grandpa on the G3 started out at 400, right?
Yeah.
So
Or am I thinking of...
G3 was 4. Well, I'm meaning the Zaku 2 kites.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
It didn't go up to 400 until later.
What
so
about
Gotcha.
It was like, I think like I want to say 3 months after the Zaku 2 was around, or Zaku 2 Kai was around, that it finally got like a level 4.
Mhm.
Because I specifically remember it being in the gacha spins. And I'm like, why is it in there when like the first 3 levels is already in DP or already given to you? So yeah, I remember it. I remember level 4 being like sometime way after. But yeah, anyway.
What about the Zaku cannon then? Would that also have been just ridiculous?
Zaku cannon
with that stun?
You know, I'm
Honestly,
not entirely sure because the MMP80 I think it carried a different MMP80. So I don't know if it had the same stun value or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
Okay.
tell you at the time. I could go look at the wiki data or something, look at the change log, but honestly, like I don't even really remember being that bad, but I was probably just at the time probably just like, oh man, I need to get used to this. Like everybody's shooting me or whatever.
I know, like, apparently the first game also went through iterations of machine gun operation and then bazooka operation.
So, from what I was told from Maelstrom and Rob, and basically explained what the heck, like the mobile, what the hell the machine guns were doing, they were piss poor, like absolute dog shit. Like they would not do any sort of build stun. I think GBO2 actually started the whole build stun thing.
Okay, so I thought that was
the MGs did not
MG
have
operation.
any sort of. So there was no build stun on the machine guns in the first game. Build stun was a fairly newish thing when GBO2 came out. So you had your bazookas and shotguns, which caused stuns, but machine guns, even the Unit 5's Gatling, from what I was told, didn't do any build stun. Which, if you think about it in today's terms, that would be stupidly scary. Because, like, imagine you just firing the Unit 5's machine gun and you're just pelting like a support without stunning it. Like, you would kill it before it would get stunned. Even
so
then.
They just did more damage? Was that the thing?
I think it used to do more damage, but like the first game did a very different way of scaling damage and cost, because they did increments of 25 and not 50 in terms of the cost range.
Yeah.
So the damage calculations were very different. I don't know how different, but they were pretty different compared to now. So yeah.
Those at nighttime matches, BB. Take notes.
Oh gosh,
God.
When I saw older videos on Rob's channel about, like, you know, evening, like nighttime, like matches and like in different maps, I'm like, why don't we have those yet? Like, nighttime in the desert would be really cool. I think it would look very nice, in all honesty.
I was gonna say it's the same reason that Port Base had like several different versions of itself when we don't see any of them. Except for Moist once in a while.
I mean, the trenches kind of is almost a night thing, right?
They're like late afternoon with a whole bunch of smoke from battle. I mean,
it just puts a Gears of War filter over everything.
Right?
Seems pretty Gears of War.
I will say though, it's kind of funny. I can't see like a super Gundam way off in the distance. Actually, like until he starts charging, I'm like, "Where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, he's moving. There he is." Like I was in a Zommel trying to like counter snipe, just being like, Where's he at? Oh, he's on that hill. There we go. Oh, I see him charging. Shoot. I don't know. I can't see his body, but I see the tip of his rifle. Hopefully, he's right behind it.
Yes, I'm gonna leave my charging rifle right here, and I'm gonna stand 50 meters over here.
Well, I mean, like I would shoot at the tip of the gun, and then it would miss, and I'd be like, "How?" And he would be like turned because I would see him like stand up, and I'd be like, "Oh, darn it, he was looking to the left. Damn it."
But just to answer your original question though, Magnum, about like I guess the favorite time of play, I'd probably say I would like kind of when I was getting into raids, like after I stopped playing a lot of like general units and the GM Sniper 2. This is like around the time I played a lot of games in the Pixie. I played a lot of Pixie back in the day.
I remember
I was
doing a lot of Pixie matches.
You were every time I would be like, "Is anyone playing the Pixie again?" I don't know, dude. I'd really. Is he in the Pixie? We're like 400. I don't want to play my Zaku cannon. Please tell me I'm on Emblem's team this time for the community
gotta
matches.
grow out of support sometime.
Right. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Just like playing a Pixie and getting into like the finer points of the raid class. I'd probably say like early on. When I opened my eyes and realized that I was not playing the true version of the video game, I was wasting my time, and switched over to raid life.
Let your rage consume you.
Yes, unlike most players that settle into the support role, I decided I wanted to hate myself for the rest of my 3 years of GBO2 instead.
I don't know. I feel like that same statement could be applied to the support role.
You're not wrong.
Infinitely angry.
Where's my generals, man? Where's my generals? And then like
even
the
at your
generals...
best, it doesn't feel like you did anything at all here.
Right.
See, that's why people must be the Foz half the time. So you can be on the front line, scare people, and then have the raid just zoom in and just slice you in half later.
I mean, the Faz is actually pretty good right now with that damage control edition. That was pretty insane.
Yes.
Speaking of supports complaining about their front line, we've been watching Lasner in our anime like viewings on during Soletta Sundays, and this makes Maniac's comments make you think. There's like one episode where like Gostero is, or like Julia, Edgy's sister, is like the prophet of Cusco or whatever, and she's walking up on this Grandosian like line of soldiers, and she just like walks up to him and like, you know, uses the power of beautiful anime lady, and the guy just kind of like stares at her and doesn't shoot, and she's like walks past him and goes to like the Grandosian leader, and I was like, this is like, that dude's a support, and she's like every raid, the front line just sits there and lets her pass by.
Yeah, like, oh, hi.
She just goes straight to the support.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, like I need to fight the enemy support and not stop the raid. I'm like,
real talk.
Nah, doubtful. I still don't believe that happens. The only time I get alone time with support is when they decide they want to be a solo sniper on top of a building somewhere.
Nice.
Then they get their just desserts.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I would say that would be like the good time for me though. It was like when I was just getting into raid life. Right around the time when the Easy 8 would still give everyone the yeetus deletus.
Around corners. So,
yeah. Downswing halfway across the map and knock down everyone.
It's like, wait for me! Slash.
Yeah. Or Mobile Suit Dom Battle Operation 2. That was good times too.
Oh god.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Oh man. Dombo combo. Bad Dombo combo. Sadly, I never got a hold of the Dombo combo. Sadly, I never actually got good with the Dom until like a year later.
Yeah, floating movement was weird. This is back in the day we didn't need maneuver armor to
Yep.
rush people down.
Mm.
But yeah, Maniac. What is yours? What's your favorite time?
Oh man, favorite time.
I know one of the favorite suits. I bet.
Favorite suits. Well, gosh, I would say that when jeez, you would think this would be an easy question. So in terms of like my favorite banner or suit at the time, or at all, I would have to say when we started getting 0083 stuff, I was really, really hyped about that. Funny thing, I got the High Gog way before I ever got a level of the Zigaki. I remember when the Zigaki banner dropped, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want the Zigaki, it's 0080, yeah, or whatever, right? And, of course, I didn't get it. I got the High Gog, and I'm like, I'll see what this Flappy Penguin can do. So, I learned the High Gog, and I'm like, High Gog's fun. Well, I'm gonna go back to my G3.
By God.
Yeah, the High Gog was one of those that was like until it got buffed, and then it got massively buffed.
Nah, dude, the High Gog's always been good. They just made it insane.
They did.
I remember
Well,
back
that
in the day,
missile, though, dude.
I used to play me some OG High Gog. People were like, High Gog's that good. I was like, nah, man, this thing can stun while boosting. Like, let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, the missiles were actually insane. Like everything except for its like hand missile that was like stuck in the ground that blew yourself.
It was
up.
good when you didn't hit.
Oh
yourself.
yeah. Like that's what I wanted it for. I wanted the hand missile. I was like, let's go. Okay, route. Okay, I hit 1 out of the 20 that I shot this game.
It's like, oh yeah, there's the raid, and then you're just like, boom! Oh damn it!
Pretty much. Between having your main gun switch hands depending on direction, your hands being super low and scraping against the floor for your missile, and all of your other weapons being centered, which means you can't peek corners. It was an interesting thing to get adapted to, for sure.
Yeah, it was like I'm gonna hit you with this. Pop pop.
And then when I learned Zigaki, when I learned Zigaki, aquatics
Rest
changed.
in peace, Zigaki.
Aquatics changed for me because I fell in love with it.
Took us a long time to actually get water, though.
Yeah, right.
It did. It took us what, 2 years? 2 years to get water.
Yeah, I remember when they introduced water, and our banner suit was the Methus.
That was so weird. That was so weird. I was like,
amazing choices.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, they could have grabbed like, I don't know, Char's Zigok or like.
Dude, I was telling everybody, it's like if we don't get the Atlas Gundam for the aquatic update, we're never getting that fucking thing.
Yep, and it's over.
And here we are. We never got it.
Oh, dude,
we never got the Atlas.
I still hear people on copium.
Extreme Versus ends up getting fucking the Thunderbolt at guys and all this other shit.
Though I'm kind of curious though. Like, if we did get the Atlas, like, what exactly would it, like, how would it act? Like, would it be similar to like how like the Marine Gundams would be acting, or would it just be like its own thing?
It probably be its own thing.
I feel like it would be the first one to have the skill that we kind of joked about, where it can actually like fly as if it was in space, in the water,
underwater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that would be kind of interesting. You touch pad and then you kind of like just fly around in the water,
or glide on the water.
It's also a weird Gundam that actually has orbital capabilities to a certain extent because of the rider gear or whatever that it has. So, like,
banana shoes.
Technically, it should be able to fly or at least scoot.
I think there would be too many buffers on it because of how big the banana shoes are.
Which is funny because the body itself probably wouldn't have any. It's frail and tiny as well.
Right.
It's like you just have like these big banana shoes, like just like skating around, and like the actual body's like probably about like that big.
It has like the leg hitbox of the Hildolfer in tank mode and just going around.
Yep.
Like you have too many of them next to each other, they can't do anything.
They end up running into each other.
Yeah.
They just clip really bad. Well, a lot of the suits coming up will probably just be clipping through stuff on certain maps anyway, so
Yeah.
Right.
they only get bigger from now.
But yeah, any other specific time? I will mention, because I figured you were going to mention it, the GAN at some point.
Oh, funny thing about the Guillaume. That was actually, what was that? That was like was it the third banner of the game? I think it was the third banner of the game. It was the Guillaume, I think. Or like third or fourth banner of the game. And the thing is that I slept on the Guillaume for a very long time because I just kind of looked at it and went like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And
Good call. Good call.
and
You
then-
knew.
And then I was like, I was in a couple of 400 cost matches while and this is like, during year one, first couple of months. And like, all of a sudden I see like this dude running around in a Gian, just decimating a fucking team and going after the support like 4 times and like completely skewering it. At the end of the match, he ended up getting around 175k damage. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? 175k and a 400 cost. Who is this man? Right? And I'm like, I need to figure out what this Gian is. I need to figure out what the hell it is. So I started like screwing around with it. I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It has such big damage potential, but I don't understand this thing. So, of course, like about like a year in, I was like, so Maelstrom, and he's like, what? You mained the Gian for a short amount of time, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, how do you use the Gian efficiently? And he's like, well, you do this and you do that, and you try not to get killed. And I'm like, oh, got it. All right, I'm gonna take it into rated. And he's like, what? Like, wait, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go into rated with it. And I'm like, my first match with it, I actually did fairly okay. I didn't get top damage, but I was like, oh, okay, so that just downward pokish, and I'm like, okay, I got the hitboxes down, and then I'm like, oh, there's a gun tank.
Oh no.
And then like it was like the second or third match with it, and I'm like, there's a gun tank. It's impact site. There's a gun tank on the corner. I'm like, ooh, yes. And all of a sudden
First
I'm like,
mistake, last mistake.
and so the gears are turning and everything, and I kind of look. I'm like, where's all the generals at? Because all of a sudden I kind of came to realize I'm like standing, like not really standing, but like I'm at the broken gal wing, like hiding, and I'm like, where's all the generals? And I just kind of like turn myself over and see the mini map, and I'm like, they're all over there, like screwing around with the other generals, and this gun tank is just pelting them. And I'm like,
get over here.
I'm gonna go over this way. And so I beelined it right up behind the gun tank, and I'm like, and then just downswinged it.
Bully the tank.
It is
I
crazy
bullied
though.
that thing.
Like the amount of damage that it had for like
Oh, yeah.
it was literally the best thing to take into bosses for the longest time.
Yeah, it still
Like-
has probably. I mean, in terms of if it wasn't a heavy attack raid, it still has one of the best like base damages as a raid in terms of 400 cost.
Yeah.
Until you look at other
You're a
things.
powerhouse
but,
like
I mean,
the Ag, am I right?
But like in terms like of a flat rate damage, I mean, Gian still pulls stupid amounts of damage. I like the buffs that they did to it recently.
Yeah, and adding another level.
That was a weird step.
So this is weird, right? So when they did the buffs to the Gian, I'm like, cool, but not enough.
Yeah, the
Like,
level
I'm
bump
like-
is very inappropriate.
I was like, it needs injectors.
Mm-hmm.
The double dodge roll was very nice. Its needle missile still needed a new. Like,
They needed up the stagger value.
Right.
They still have not upped the stagger value on that thing.
Just give me 1%. I'm not even asking
Like-
for a lot.
Like
For real, though.
all I'm asking is like maybe like half the clip, or even a quarter of the clip to stun. Also, it still can't boost fire. You still cannot boost fire the missiles, which makes no sense to me. Because if you're boosting with your shield out in front of you, you would think that logically you would be able to fire the needle missiles while
But-
you're boosting.
But Unit 5's Gatling gun is so heavy, and the guns on the G line standard, which are mounted to the shoulders for ease of use, require you to stand still because of recoil or whatever. Commit stance. We need this. It's so heavy or whatever.
It's
I
like
mean,
it's
I
just
think the
this little
boost-
bitty shield.
I think the boost needle missile thing would be a very good buff that they could do.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. And,
'Cause at the very least,
I-
it's doing
honestly-
damage, and then maybe you get
Yeah.
lucky and get a stun at the same time.
And then also, I'm still surprised that they still haven't given it any sort of injectors yet. Like
They just
I
need
know,
to turn the hide bombs into a bazooka. Just like get rid of the cute
Just
like trap
chugging into
laying and just
people.
make
It's
it a
like-
bazooka.
and then just like
Yeah, it just needs to be that. It's just a mine. It has a different name, but it's just a bazooka.
or be able to. What I would like is if they're gonna do the hide bombs like as like mines, do it
Mhm.
similar to like what was that one newer suit that had like the mines on it?
The Goku Juicer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, the
where it's
Warhammer
just like,
suit, yeah.
brrr.
like just have it like placed all around or something like that, or you just drop them as you boost, kind of like
Or the Dom one,
know.
yeah.
yeah,
Like, that would be cool, to where you could just throw them as you're running away, or like you just shoot them out as a big combo. Brrr.
yeah.
Just-
Like
mines.
realistically, I mean, if we're gonna go into the mechanics of these fictional suits, these big old boys should be able to do a 360 and like fire behind it, like, or at least like kind of like do that, and just be able to fire it while boosting from the back. Like that's like, I don't see why they can't do that. It's completely feasible.
Video game.
Video
Require
game.
actual animation flexibility for the developers.
Nah,
Don't be
let's
ridiculous.
just clip it. Like it's not even like a fluid animation.
Just
no,
go
it's
through
just,
like the head.
clipped it. Kind of like how the Bound Dog for a while did the whole like dabbing. Just make a clip, but purposely.
They can do stuff like that. Like that honestly just makes me think of like in Inbon and Gundam Versus, how the Hyakushiki would like shoot behind itself because Char's a swag lord.
Yes.
Maybe do something like that.
But yeah, Gustav, what is your kind of favorite time frame of
Alex
GBO2?
era was pretty good. I didn't mind some of the stuff that was coming out at the time. And besides that, just whenever we get a new cost, it's always interesting to see that fluctuation of like new suits, level boosted suits
Yeah.
happening. The increase in like speed that tends to happen. Like exam suits are kind of a big deal just because of the movement rate. And then we get into some other stuff over at 450 that just moves that fast baseline.
Mhm.
And that just kept increasing over time. It kind of makes me wonder what we're even going to have at 700 as we go forward. But yeah, there's been a lot of different periods of that. a lot of these lower costs now are like super saturated, not only with level boosted stuff, but just other things that are being put in the middle because AOZ has like a really wide range of just like variant suits. I do kind of hope that they do put some lower stuff in there, especially if they're gonna have the audacity to keep like 250 around for clans, let alone like I don't know if we see 250 too much for rated anymore. It
Yeah, I
feels like
hardly see
it
it.
drops mostly at 300.
Like
So
there have only been maybe a few times that I've seen 250, and that would be like really early in the morning, but it would like be on like the off days that like hardly like any dailies are like needed on ground. So
mhm.
like space days and stuff like that. Like I've noticed there was one day I streamed and I was streaming real late, you know, one of my 7-hour streams, right? So I'm streaming and all of a sudden map rotation happens. And this was before they gave you the preview of what was coming up next. Like that was before that patch. So so it was like months ago. Anyway, I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, rotation in next maps. Let's see what it is. And it was 200 cost deserted city. And I kind of looked at that. I'm like, what?
How strange.
What? Like 200 cost deserted city. Like, what? Like nobody, like I don't think anybody would have thought that like any of that would happen, like remotely currently.
Gotta
Like
break out the hentacle tie.
I want it. I
Like,
want
Actually,
it.
that
Put
might
me
be too low.
No, that's too low. Actually, that's the ag.
Yeah,
ag.
that's
It's
too
just ag.
no,
Ag
it's
time. Let's go.
200.
Hold standby, the yak guy.
Or the ag guy.
And,
Yeah.
Funny thing, I decided to go into 200 cost because, you know, why not? Even though, like, I swear to God, I should never go into 200 cost ever again. But anyway, so I decided to go into 200 cost, and I'm like, all right, what suit do I remember doing well in 200 cost? And I'm like, Zaku 2FS. All right, let's go. So I go in there. Immediately, I'm like, this is terrible. Deserted City on low cost is just terrible. Because you practically take half the match to just meet the guy.
Unless you're in the ag.
Right. So, like, you take half the match just trying to grab points and meet up in the middle. So that's already, like, what? It's a 7-minute, 8-minute match. So you already wasted 2 to 3 minutes right there. Maybe almost 4. So you're just sitting there going, like, all right, everybody's grouped up now. And then, like, then you just see this line of enemies just slowly charging in. It's like, right on time.
Well, then the respawn times are so short that once the brawl gets started, if 2
Yeah.
points are close enough on certain maps, it's just nonstop, just brawling,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other things that I was gonna say to cover, I guess, you know, as far as time goes, there's a few other things that I had typed out that I wanted to mention, but let's kind of do a, you know, slow rapid fire, I guess, section, and just kind of anything that, you know, any kind of thing that we kind of want to talk about, maybe short tangent on. You know, you just reminded me of the low cost. You just reminded me of the low cost. I will say the Act guy back in the day was one of the hardest suits to play, even though on paper its kit was actually
Fucking
crazy.
hate the yak guy.
Yeah.
It's your favorite.
Dude, I love this suit. Especially now after they buffed it, dude. It's so good. It's still crazy. But
damn commit stance.
Yeah, that commit stance, and the beam was like pinpoint accurate, laser to the tiniest laser, pinpoint accurate. If you whiffed even like a nanometer, you missed. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But then another thing, unrestricted used to be a thing. I remember taking in the GOG and just being like, "Let's go, GOG."
I
Let's
miss
fight the
Unrestricted.
stamen.
Unrestricted was a really weird shit show, and then they realized people take the game seriously and got rid of it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. In all honesty, though, there was a few times where like you could have legitimately like had a plan of going into Unrestricted and going, all right, so I want to win the match, right? Well, there's all these 500 cost suits over here. Well, I'm this 400 over here. I'm going to do my best to whittle them down, have everybody else just tackle them. They'll get most of the points, and then I'll just die later. It's like, that's basically what Unrestricted kind of boiled down to.
I mean, I could be...
like,
there were some cases where there were a few suits that were able to kind of get some dock out, like GPO1 with like the level 5 bullpup. I think GM Sniper, or GM Sniper 2 did something similar too.
Yeah,
just the suits that could use the level 4 and 5 weapons.
Yep.
One
because,
thing.
go ahead.
Oh well, I mean, one thing too, like with the Unrestricted, you know, they eventually turn it to where you, for rated, you can only go 50 down. But for me, one of the benefits of Unrestricted, and most of the time when I would actually play it, was, if I recall, and I could be crazy here, but I want to say back in the day there could be 2 space matches up and just 1 ground, and it could just be Unrestricted. And at that point,
which is obscene.
Yeah. And at that point, too, there wasn't a space and ground queue. It was just rated. So you just...
Yes. Yeah, that was before they split the rating.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's really funny because, like, when that happened, the truth came out. Nobody fucking liked space.
Yeah, depending on how many space games you played, you either were like, you know, if you were definitely one of those space players, you might have been like B to A. And if you were not, you were probably around C or D kind of thing. So yeah, dailies pretty much carried those up, if anything.
Funny thing when it was all 1 rating, I remember just getting into A-, and I'm like, I want to keep my A-, and then I'm thinking, everybody sucks at space. Maybe I can grab a few wins out there. Sure enough, that's how I kept my A-, was just getting a couple of wins in space. In which
that's probably another reason they split it too.
Because that was how I kept my A- for the longest time, was, oh yeah, I'm gonna grind out space to keep my A-.
Steel clothing in space, how dare you?
Yep, that's what I did.
Those old types had it coming.
And that was before Saikamu weapons, by the way.
Yeah, I would use like the Gigan in space, but the only thing is it didn't have the support skill of the
gimbal.
No, this was even before they even added that. But I'm talking about the support skill of like showing your teammates or showing the enemies health bars
data
or whatever. Data link. Yeah, it didn't even have that when it first came out, and it was just like, why?
Man, in space, that thing was pretty much a general. It didn't need data link.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much.
Just melt things, Gigan punch.
Right? That punch was insane. Now we have the long range punch, space type. But yeah, that covered like three of the things I typed out with like splitting the ratings and stuff. What about, let's talk some metas at the time that, you know, at this point seem not that long ago, but are pretty far off. The Mark II meta and the Cubile meta, like,
yeah,
I'm kind of glad they really didn't repeat that too much with the. I mean, the new kind of did, but they definitely did a whole lot better.
Well, the funny thing is that we lament so much about the Cubile meta, but people were like raging about that when it first came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I feel like the unicorn meta is that now, and I am very curious what they do at the end of this month for the balance with the unicorn and the banshee, because
I hate that the banshee's getting dragged down to unicorn.
It didn't deserve that.
No, banshee is fine. I
hope it gets the slap on the wrist.
If
both of them will. I think that at this point, whatever changes they do, if it's not steep enough, it's not going to change the face of 700. They would have to coincide several releases before they do that with either 700 or level boost things that might do decently and kind of muck up some of the comp. But otherwise, it's just going to be the same as like the Mark II stuff. I don't think it's going to be that steep.
Now, if
I'm
it
feeling the
is-
opposite. I think it's going to be like they're going to like
then we'll
hit
see.
it
Because
really
I feel
hard.
like a lot of people, and this might just be because I'm like an A plus, like barely an A plus or whatever. But a lot of the comp here, a lot of people are circumventing Unicorn outside of 1 or 2, depending on the map. You're seeing a lot more EXS, Toads Ridders are still running around, stuff like that. So I don't know what they're doing that in preparation of the nerf, or if it's just something that people just gave up on trying to get it if they didn't get it initially.
Yeah, I feel like it could be kind of that. And high A plus and S minus, I feel like.
What is
those
this low
suits-
cost shittery?
I feel like those suits are kind of like few and far between. Like every now and then you'll see a Moon Gundam get the dust blown off of it or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
But, usually it's just
I have not seen any
Unicorn.
Sazabis recently.
No, if anything,
no.
you'll see news and Moo Moons before you see Sazabis.
Sometimes the Sananju is pretty because you can literally stun anything while boosting with its
Mhm.
skill. So that's
Right.
that thing's actually still kind of OP just because it literally just gets to bully anything if you're a god at boosting and shooting the beam.
but there's no point because they released the Rebel at its native cost now. So
Yeah.
Oh god,
Yeah.
it's a native con. Get out of here.
Oh,
damn
dude.
why would you play anything else that's not a unicorn at that point?
So, in all honesty, though, in terms of the, God damn it, what suit was I thinking of? Sazabi. So, what? Because it's been a while. So, what kind of caused it to kind of like get thrown off the rail? Like, was it more?
a lot
was
of
it
its
more
stuff
of
is
size,
just,
or
Size, general, just stat spread. The fact that in the early times it was just really obstructive because you would just be swinging on stuff, and if you weren't, getting your down swings down pat, you're pretty much taking everyone else around you with you.
That's fair.
Also, after a while, doing like weapon cycles while just trying to keep somebody stun juggled wasn't really efficient anymore, as because everything was just so fast. And now that you have suits that have, this really high output main gun that also has splash damage, lingering in one spot too long was really dangerous. And all it really had was cumulative, and some of that cumulative it would lose when it would get the new type destroyer out, and it would just not be able to use like part of his kit. It's not really as mid-range heavy as the new Gundam, so it can't just shuffle around and do its part of its all-range attack without it.
Mhm.
And it also doesn't. Well, the shield wasn't too much of a factor. Sometimes it can be for the new, but not as often as you would think. But I think it was just more flexible. The Sazabi was just something that they had the audacity to keep as a general when it probably shouldn't have. But at this point, it would probably do worse as a raid, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, at least how it works, right?
It needs some workovers, but I don't know. Outside of just making things either have more accumulation and maybe making the secondary rifle a bit more accessible, like what else they could really do with it.
I think the minimum 2 things that they should give the Sazabi to make it playable again is to give it priority 3 and give it offense system.
Yeah.
It should have had priority 3 from the start.
It should have.
I
had
agree, but we
priority
have to
3.
clash with new Gundam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Never mind that the other saber is like the size of the suit itself, but yeah, sure.
Mhm. That's at the minimum. I think those 2 things would give the Sazabi some breathing room. I personally would raise the follow funnel stagger rate by a percentage as well.
Yeah.
But like
Also give it a heavy attack.
I'm down for
Just
heavy attack.
cross the
But it has
line
to-
at this point.
We have to take it into the raid party though. Generals don't get heavy attack.
Nope,
That
cross
belongs
the
to
line
us.
and give it to it.
Nope.
The
You guys
general
get
with the heavy
you guys get
attack.
Do it right
NDL.
now.
You get to be happy, okay?
See, I'm a
That's all you
support.
get.
I don't want any more heavy attacks on
Yeah, you
anything
do.
else. No, not on generals. No.
it's like, even if it did get a heavy attack, like, what the heck would the heavy attack animation even be? Like,
Either some spin to win or just fucking chopping shit up with a huge advancing thing.
I think it would have the Zaku 3's heavy attack.
We're just do like
The
the
Zaku-
Yeah,
enhanced
that'd be a
double
pretty
zeta.
easy one.
Because
Maybe enhanced
all
double
it
zeta.
would
The crazy
do-
thing is that it would have insane coverage if it used the big saber.
Yeah.
What game is it where the Sazabi does that stupid like flaily arm thing if it's two beam sabers?
Well, it does it for its super counter.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
yeah.
shit. Okay.
They
Yeah.
did it for the counter, and then
And it's in the flaily arm thing is actually it's in the movie.
Yes,
Oh,
it
okay.
actually is. It was
When they
it
were
was during the
fighting
scene,
before
yeah.
they ditched it and went pilot, he was just doing
basically
it like
swinging
wave
his
swings.
sabers.
That boy was
like
at a rave for a
this,
second.
trying to like I don't
All
know
those
what the
shits
heck
for
he
glow
was
sticks,
doing.
I guess.
He was fighting armor. You know, like when they do the fight where they have the arm on the hand or whatever, and you're like armor, come here. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Seems good.
But
You should just let it have like a command grab at that point. It just does the fucking super counter whenever it makes contact with somebody.
Yeah, they should just make that to heavy, and if you get countered by a new Gundam, they just replay the scene where
Yeah.
Amuro takes the Battlestar,
Just
from
give him the
TCA.
punch.
yeah,
His
the
super
punch.
counter. I think it does do hand to hand, but it really should have just like grabbed its head and just punched it like it was in a hockey fight.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'd be okay
gosh.
with that.
That would be funny.
Just interrupt the entire match and have like a
man.
salty bet.
Everyone
fight.
pans in.
Yeah, everybody has to watch
Oh my
the
goodness.
final fight of CCA when you get caught in that scenario. And then the game ends. It's pretty good.
It's like the whole fucking scene with like the whole cockpit slamming into the fucking
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just rattling around. Your pilot somehow takes damage. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they show all the mobile suits on each team pushing back Axis, and instead of it saying tie at the end, it just says Axis shock. And,
Just straight up
The match
game.
ends. Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
This game's winner is human understanding and new types or something.
The power of friendship. Going beyond the time.
Yep, there we go.
no, so it just ends draw.
oh no.
And
No
then it's like,
contest.
oh, damn, I lost against my rival somehow. Fuck.
Yeah, you know it's coming because Sally starts to play like, oh shit, not
Oh
again.
man.
They should. Speaking of which, they should have Sally as a background track, man.
Right?
That sounds so
Yes.
good.
Something that we talked about in the past. They did that one music update and then never did it again. And
Right.
none of them are any kind of like familiar tracks outside of like the game stuff. Which I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of history with any of that, so I could give a fuck. I give no shits about where any of
So-
that shit came from. I just want shit from the show at this point.
Yeah, they should dip into the
So-
Zeta soundtrack at least.
Oh,
But I hear you.
yes.
Like even if
But-
it can't be lyric stuff, like literally any
I mean,
of the
look at
background
SD Gundam
tracks.
Battle Alliance. They've got a lot of iconic
They also have
sounding
remixes,
stuff.
which are
Yeah.
amazing.
Remixes,
Yeah.
The Zeta remix is oof. That's the good shit.
I
Like,
thought Beyond the Times remix on that was pretty good.
so also, that was going to be the next thing that I brought up as far as like just random updates that they did for things. You know,
Mhm.
we recently lost the camera. And also, guess who's
Yeah.
been useless the entire time that she got
Yeah,
introduced?
no hairstyle still.
Yeah.
Also, no heavily referential like clothes outside of pilot suits. To be honest, there's been like one
Yeah.
or two things, and that's it. We're still missing a lot of junk. Not to mention, if they're not gonna do hairstyles, at least give us wigs for hats.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think. Trying to think of other pilot suits that they've. Well, they didn't do any of like Unicorn's sleeves pilots, right? Except for like Merida, Full Frontal, and I think
Banana.
that's it.
I mean,
Well,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
Banana.
extent of it. I don't
Yeah.
worry about it too much outside of that.
Yeah.
I liked more clothes. Some of and like it would still be in the like military outfit stuff, but like Mashimaru or Mashimeyer has like some fucking style. He has some really cool outfits.
Mashimir has really good stuff.
You got a bunch of flowers, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. What's
It's
her
great,
face?
some
Chara
ensemble.
Soon has some really cool outfits.
Yep.
Charsoon.
I'm like, listen, all Neo Zeon people, but like those dudes look fucking good, man.
Yeah.
That's because a lot of the
everything in the world.
Federation shit wasn't super imaginative outside of like
Right.
Double Zeta Pro tags, like
Mhm.
casual clothes.
Yeah, they were
I
definitely
think
doing
that's some stuff
crazy
like that.
like 80s
It's a
and
crime
stuff.
you don't have Haman hair as a female
Yep.
hairstyle.
Right?
How do we not have Haman
on
hair?
here or
Like,
For
Luca
real.
shit or
Yeah. I was pretty
Also,
stoked
oh, go ahead.
when it goes to their normal suit though. But I'd love like Ruluka's dress, so like Haman's because like Haman wore her like little black
it was
dress,
Faw's outfit.
like everywhere. Yeah, I would be down for Faw's outfit
yeah.
because you
Yeah.
know I didn't bring it up earlier, but you know when I played SRWZ2, I left Faw in the Memphis and I owned everybody in it. I didn't need a MP new Gundam to show people that their suits were just for show.
But yeah, another thing too is like characters that are kind of other characters that were useless. Didn't the clan dude? Didn't he exist? But he just wasn't there till they put clans, or did he actually show up when clans came in?
So
yeah.
that bar was empty.
Okay, so
I
the bar
thought
was
Odoman was already in there.
I thought he was in there, but
I thought they didn't introduce new characters until Dahlia and Patrick. But I thought the original cast was hanging out.
Oh no, yeah.
I how
was.
Leona's
He
useless
was.
ass was in the hangar for
and
an
then
entire
yeah,
year.
Leona was in the hangar
that's
doing
right.
Oh
nothing.
my god.
She had all the downtime for a while.
Yeah. Dahlia's kind of become the reigning king, but for a long time we used to say Leona was the most useless character in the base camp.
Yeah.
She literally did nothing.
Leona was working on those calibrations.
Yeah. We're prepping something, pilot. But what though?
And when?
Yeah. What do you do? What is your job?
Especially when we were doing the podcast weekly, it's like, yep, all this shit's still the same. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's also still the same. So
Just like the hairstyles. Oof.
what about that new suit? Hey, that was pretty good. Everything else? Ass. All this other shit that we're waiting for, still not here. So spacing the things out even before we got to this point was definitely pretty good.
Let's see. Anything else anybody could think of that's anything that was new, annoying, crazy? Oh, here we go. Space rework. You can now melee in space, which I got used to before. So I just went from being able to melee in space to not, because it was very jarring being used to it. And then finally they gave everything Ambac and Ambac 2.
Yeah.
I like the change of space. I know there were some people who prefer the old style, but I think that when they changed it, it made it a little bit more user friendly.
I mean, it's definitely better, but it was one of those things like I had already practiced this muscle memory.
Right.
Stop, help.
So when I first started GBO2 and like in one of my like first streams that I did, which I swear to God I only had like 2 people there. Anyway,
2's pretty good for a first stream.
Sounds
also.
like to me.
OP.
Anyway, so I was saying how like the space controls at the time and how the mechanics worked were very similar to like Federation versus Xeon to an extent, because you would really have to like move your really have to use controls to really move and not have like any sort of like automatic kind of like camera shifting or anything like that, or like you know how like ground is kind of like it's a fixed position most of the time. Like old space was not a fixed position. It was very wonky.
I mean, it was.
And it took me a while to really get used to like actually kind of making sure I'm like not necessarily upright, but like knowing where everything was.
Oh yeah.
Because that was dumb, but it was fun. It was a fun dumb.
It was a fun dum.
Yes, I know. I'm busy. Jeez.
There's an animal on the loose.
There is a cat. Hold on.
Play with me or unplug your microphone again. It's a
The
floof.
baby.
It's a floof.
But yeah, anything else? I'm trying to think of like I will say this was something that I wish they keep doing for like, suits in the door, but the part change. actually a while ago now that new players could just buy any of the parts. That was a pretty
That
big,
was
awesome
a very,
change.
very good change.
Because that was one of the biggest hurdles for new players getting into the game.
Yes. So that I'm honestly wondering. Like I know that I know some of the representatives and devs kind of like, kind of hide in the background and watching us and whatnot.
No.
No. Well, yes, they do. But anyway, maybe. Quote unquote maybe. Anyway, a lot of the newer players, like I remember even when when the Western release started and all that, and I was, helping out new players and stuff like that. A lot of them are like, well, how do I get all these parts? And I'm like, well, you earn DP and you level up. And they're like, well, what if I wanted, level 4, well, I think it was, level 4 was the highest at the time. Level 4 melee part with, for my, 400 cost suit. And I'm like, well,
Play for a year.
It's like, I guess you gotta level up and earn money. Like, sadly, it's, it's
spend endless
promotion
hours
block.
in the game.
Right.
Back in my day, you used
Back
to roll
in
for
my
parts.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, and also back in my day, you would get your 3 dailies, and that was the only amount of any kind of XP or DP that you would ever get.
Yep.
And other than those 3 5 times bonuses, there was no medals getting popped. There was no medals for yourself. There was no other extra anything. There was, you got like maybe 1,000. You got 3 tokens a week for the weekly little login things, and you didn't get 10,000 DP. You got like what, 3 at most?
It was like 3 or 4,000.
And that was it. You got your 3 tokens and like 3,000 DP a week, plus you got your 3 daily bonuses. So if you decide to go play customs that day, you didn't go play customs that day because that would waste your daily bonuses because you only get like 10.
It's part of the reason why I pretty much only play rated, because there's no point playing anything else.
Yeah.
And then like now that there's extra on reserve and you get so much from doing the monthly missions, there was no monthly missions either. There was no help there. There was like it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough indeed. Like the like extra tokens and stuff. You just have what you got every day, and at best, you wanted to rate up, and you got 100 maybe a game if you're winning. If you're not winning, sucks. But there you go. And then also one thing we mentioned, I can't remember if we mentioned it before we started or not, but the queue times and getting into a game. Like, I got a penalty or 2 for falling asleep because I'd be like, okay, I'm going to queue for a game before bed. 1 hour later. Oops. So.
Yeah. Thank goodness they started. Like, it kind of sucks. I didn't mind it so much of them putting you back into the lobby with other players, but it'd been nice if they'd, like, consolidated lobbies a little bit better.
Yeah.
But not, like, re-queue if, like, and stuff like that was not the worst.
Yeah, the requeue was the worst, but like the lobby thing was a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing that they changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, and I would find this as like frustrating as a new player when I first played. Was not only did you know who your rival was, because they used to have like a rival tag next to the person's name of saying who your rival was, but
that was just when they killed you though, right? Like it would just show the rival on their name?
in lobby as well. So in the lobby,
it started in lobby.
In the lobby, in the lobby, in the
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So it would say who your rival was. Well, not only did the rooms not break after every single match, you would then be continuously, queuing up with your rival who kept beating you for the past 6 matches. Because he would always be on the enemy team. So then you're just like sitting here going, can I win a match, please?
On Twitter, we call it a skill issue.
That
okay?
would- that would
we got
be-
it down.
Yeah, bro.
That would be like the worst thing if you're a support and the rival was a raid and he's just
Rival
like,
was a
I'm hunting
raid.
you down
Yeah.
every game. No,
Yep.
I'm telling you.
that's a dodge moment, man. That's a get
Yep.
me out of this lobby. I need a new rival. Forget this.
Because a lot of times, which I'm almost certain most players did this, because I'll be honest, I did it. But like you would see the person that would be marked as a rival, and you'd be like, that's the PSN name that I need to keep out for because he's my rival, right? So then when you get killed by them, and then you see the name, and then you look at the color design, you're like, got it. All right, I know who that is. So like immediately starts gunning down the guy. Then
I
they
will
get
say
mad.
being able to color your suits whatever you want is actually a cool feature in the game. I will say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Another thing too, as far as like just changes that they did. Speaking of the rival system, I'm glad it's pretty much dead now. Thank goodness. I've ranted about it enough, so I won't go back into it. But yeah, it's finally dead. And with that, iterations of normal ranked. That was a thing. The first ranked was play no life every day, all day. The second one was kind of the same, but not as bad. And then finally, they limited how many games you could play.
I
Now we're in Brawl
remember-
days.
I remember the no sleep ranked. That was fun.
Yeah, I missed the first one.
That was fun. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. Was it 350? I think it was 350.
I'm pretty sure it was. I
I
know
think
the
because
Afreet-
everybody
I think
was-
the Afreet Kai was paying.
So the knock
350 was
a
the
thing, and then
second one.
everybody,
Too, right? Was it the 350 the same?
they might have.
Or was
did
it
a
300?
repeat.
It might have been 300. Either way, though, I know the second one was
But-
all night, but it was your best 3 games out of no
Right.
lifing it every day.
So the first one was a 350 match. It was in, I want to say, it was in Tropical
It was in
Desert?
Tropical Desert.
Yeah. And everybody ran E3 Custom.
Hell yeah.
Everybody
thing.
ran E3 Custom. And like the only few people who didn't ran gym commands. Just to have generals on the team.
Shoot, towards the tail end, I was pulling Magnum strats. I was running the gun cannon and just like literally team killing people so I could steal their kills.
Oh my god, yeah,
dude,
just
like, you
stun.
had to
It
play
was a stun
toxic as
fest.
fuck, man.
Yes.
Like that dude's about to
Yes.
kill somebody. I need to hit them both.
Because it's a 1v9, man. You're playing a 1v9, dude.
Ranked came
yeah.
before clans too, right?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
like the idea of like a lot of the bunga heavy stuff outside of higher rating and stuff really became more apparent when that started to drop. Making a brawl made it even worse.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I love Brawl.
I will say, though, the support thing in Brawl now is kind of fun, especially like Palace Athene. You just drop, boom. I just killed everybody. I was in last place. Now I'm in first because I just got like 7 kills at the same time. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, ranked's always been a little bit weird, but I didn't mind to change the brawl because at least they weren't trying to hide it anymore. That was a free for all.
Right.
It was a lot more honest for sure.
I found still again it's so funny. What the last ranked match was 350 brawl on military base, was it not?
Shit, was it that low? I don't remember.
I think it was. It was 350 military base. Yeah.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
one that got canceled too.
That was the cancel one.
Well,
Then they did
that-
like a
that-
600 after that.
No, there was a 350 one.
Wait,
before
yeah,
that.
there
That's the one
was.
that got
But that's the one that got
canceled.
canceled because
Oh,
the
that
leader,
was the one that got
leaderboards.
canceled.
We were like in the
Yeah.
middle of it, and then it.
Right. That's right. Because I was like top of the leaderboard half the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm gonna get the new suit. And then they're like, we canceled it. I'm like, you bitch. Like, come on. I was doing so well. It's like my first time actually doing okay in that.
One of the changes that I don't like, touching on something else, is when they cleaned up some of the grammar, getting ready for the Western release, like the official
They-
Western.
I
they-
count
they
on
got
you.
rid of-
I know, they killed-
I count on you, dude.
Big sad.
That's
The
gonna be.
other one was let's show it to him or give it to him. Got rid of that
Yeah.
too.
Like
let's
there were
see.
just so many like good ones. It's like, are they a new type? That one might still say it. Like,
That one's
yeah,
still
that one's
there,
still
but
there.
that's
My
also
God,
counted
or-
like a more toxic one.
What was it? There
It's
was
inside of
I
Mirage
count on
Status game.
you. It was I count on you. Either it was count on you or I count on you.
It was
And
I
then
It was
count on
definitely
you.
I count
Yeah,
on
I
you.
count on
It
you.
was I
Right
count
after
on you,
people.
and then it was when was Glory to Haman-sama
What is
still
one doing?
like? Was that one of the original ones?
Oh, Glory to Lady Haman.
Glory to Lady Haman.
That's
Yeah,
still there, I
Still
think.
there, yeah.
that was one of the originals, which was weird, right? Because it was there like from the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, that's like Zeta era, double Zeta era. Like, what?
Mhm.
It's like, why that quote? Like all the other quotes, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like,
That
Well,
feels
you
like
know,
it was a
Haman-
guest
Haman?
thing.
Haman's relevant through Stardust Memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She had a cameo. Relevant character.
For like
She's
2 seconds,
relevant,
looking
yeah.
out, looking out a
How
window,
old she was.
brooding.
Just an old thought we had too was I remember when we were talking about like, yeah, they're not gonna go past double Zeta.
God,
Here we
yeah.
are, the unicorns. Like,
Right. Like double
Back in
Zeta's a
Zeta
myth.
era, we
Double
thought it was
Zeta's not
actually
even gonna
be, like,
happen.
the
Yeah.
peak.
Yeah, double Zeta's
Like-
probably never gonna happen, guys.
It's like we were like I remember like hearing like the devs going like, oh yeah,
It's
we'll
a gold lesson.
maybe go to Zeta. Like we'll maybe go to Zeta. We don't know. We just want to bring like a lot of the other suits back in. Like
Well, it's like when they did the every year we've had them do that developer thing too.
Yeah.
They didn't do it this year, so we got a
Oh.
little bit of talk for Unicorn, but what we learned about that update came through another TV spot.
Yeah.
They didn't actually
Right.
have their own broadcast because they had that, and then they had the Gundam lineup thing where they were trying to talk about the DLC for SD Gundam. Battle Operation 2 got like a reminder that it exists, and
Yeah.
you know they were talking about UC Engage yada yada because that was going to be coming out on top of Eternal.
Right.
But we don't really have any sort of roadmap now. So I don't
Yeah.
know what's going to
Didn't
be
that
going on for
get,
holidays or if we're actually going to get an announcement or maybe a newsletter later for
Didn't that
the
kinda get
future of
lumped
the
into
series.
the tournament that they did? Because that's when they announced the Halloween stuff.
That's the only thing they have announced though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
And then we just got that translated later on.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious, and one thing I did want to get before we start wrapping up here is you guys' take on how much longer do you think GBO2 has?
I
Because-
would.
Kind of what Gustav said. I'm actually thinking now, if they're slowing down on their like presentations and stuff,
Yeah.
especially after a team change and a few things like that, like, is this just a fancy way of saying they're on the
On the way up.
skeleton crew that's holding the game together, kind of thing?
So here's the weird thing though is that like we were talking about earlier, all this other stuff that was supposed to be the new wave of shit
Mm-hmm.
done already. Like I don't know if we're gonna get more Battle Alliance. Then the only other thing that's probably gonna keep getting more support, especially because it's a fucking mobile gacha game, so Japan's gonna eat it up regardless of if we do, is gonna be G Generation Eternal.
Right.
They're still going on UC Engage and they had keys into 2 and stuff, but all that's internalized. In terms of the Western presence, we don't know if we're getting more Battle Alliance. We don't know if we're gonna get another G Gen anytime soon outside of the mobile one, since it is going to have an international release.
If
Mm-hmm.
Evo dies, then
Evo is pretty much on the way out, unless
Yep.
they really do try to string it along until season 3, depending. But it's not it's a free to play game. It's not like they had to try to honor people's purchases or some shit. And all their gacha games don't do that anyway. So
Right.
we'll just have to see what happens with that, because right now this is the only consistent one that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it would be a shame to lose it, but at the same time, it was already surprising that we're on a year 4.
yeah,
Right.
I didn't think this game was going to go this long. I don't know if they even thought it was going to go this long, considering the way that they've been doing the development and the fact that the PC test flopped, which is a whole
Mhm.
other can of worms in and of
Oh.
itself.
Gosh, yeah.
and that's also my kind of concern. Like, if it does, is it just going to be like, a year or so they may try to catch up, or then they're just like, if it flops on the PC as well, is that just it?
It
Like,
really
I'm
feels
curious on
like
that.
I know other games that have done that and that do have a big gap of content. Like even Champions of the Continent is nowhere near where the JP version is right now.
Mhm.
Like they had triangle strategy releases and all this other stuff, but they're blowing through a lot of that really fast.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's really going to be worth it for them to have that kind of gap at this
Right.
point. Because even though there are going to be new people, there's a lot of other people who are going to be jumping onto that who have already been in it.
And with the
You know.
pushback, I mean, they may have to
Mhm.
move up,
Especially with the crossplay not being there. Like there was a lot of other issues with what they were talking about with that outside of just the network test itself. So I feel like they had to be a bit more catering at this point if they're really going to try to keep some goodwill with that going on. Base games, whatever. Anyone can give a shit. They're still going to keep playing it until it goes away. But like, that would be their way to extend things. I just don't know if that's going to be enough.
Yeah. I can't go into any details, but I will say I don't think we have much to worry about in the near future as far as like the game fizzling out.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I would say, in a realistic perspective, just for how the game is going in terms of the player base and how active the game is currently,
The level of whalage and the fact that it still
again,
has
yeah. In all honesty, I can see this game lasting another 2 years.
Yeah, foot strike and Aoshi are paying for like BB Studio severance.
They still need to give Aoshi his tour
packages.
of BB Studios at this
I know,
point.
right?
They already gave it to
fly
Midfoot.
Aoshi out.
Or Maniac too. Like you had everything up until
Oh yeah,
when?
I had everything up until I got really busy. What was it during?
Midfoot is like your average
I think it
JP
was
gotcha player though, where they have like a bunch of credit lines though, and they have to like run to the store to recharge their shit. So like,
yeah,
I don't know if it's quite on the same scale.
Gosh, what was it? I had everything up until we started getting like unicorn things. Because then that's kind of where I started really started not really doing anything because I got really busy with work. So that in terms of owning everything, I kind of fell off of that for a while. So, but I mean, for most of my time, I mean, for the last 3 years, I had pretty much everything. Maybe one or two things that were probably clan related, and that was it. I had everything. My bank account would probably say otherwise.
So real quick, any other kind of blast from the past that we can think of? Any other random things?
Well, Give Heavy is at least good now, so.
So, I guess the idea when we started getting, when the devs started talking about possible flight units, and then we started getting the flight types, that was a game changer.
Oh yeah, that was pretty big.
Just for them to nerf it into the ground,
right?
And then bring it back as like a Gundam mechanic, essentially.
They're like, yes, we're gonna do flight in the game, and everybody's like, yeah. And then it's like, by the way, the flight system's gonna have a really high stun resistance, and everybody's like,
oh no,
what? What?
And then it's gonna have negative stun resistance.
And be virtually shit. Like, oh, go okay.
It's like,
they're figuring it out, guys. It'll be fine.
And then all the campers and Ifrits are just looking at their shotguns, going like, how far does this thing go again?
They found out very quickly.
Confirm across the map, so it was no big deal.
Which is funny because I think that even further solidified the no fun gun. It's like, oh, new mechanic? Nah, fuck that. You guys are on anti-air duty now.
I think the only thing that would be able to take them out of the air at the time was if you were a Hidalfer and you were lucky enough to get that heavy stagger off on them. Yeah. If you were even lucky enough. Yeah, Zudas would be running around. Yeah. I think at the time people figured out that they needed Zudas on the field when the flight type started. Because normal Zuda starts out at 250, so I mean you would have 2 levels worth of Zudas, 350 to 400, because that was the test type, 350, 400, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
or 300, 350, and then the either way, something like that. Close enough.
Yeah.
Did we have the Zuda F?
We
I
had
think
the Zuda
was
F
out
before
then.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
we had the Zuda F way
Yeah,
before then.
anti-ship rifles are definitely on the hunt. Anything with heavy stagger or just big cumulative.
But yeah, anything else? Any other blast from the past that we can think of last minute?
No.
Well-
Battle operation next.
Okay, moving on.
Yes, they have some
oof.
too much for playing tokens.
So
It's
yeah,
gonna be the next battle op game.
oh no. Next two. But yeah, the real quick though. Currently, I did say I think we were gonna mention it at least, so we'll mention it. The new support is paying the support tax. It's paying the 2-star tax as well.
Yep.
Man, that thing has no health at all. Even though it has a good shooting kit, it has way
Yep.
less health than the suit 50 cost above. That it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, I was looking at it
So,
the other day. It's like, jeez.
I was looking at this, like, just the base stats, not even looking at the skills, right? Just looking at the stats, I was thinking like they were kidding.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I mean this.
like, I was looking at.
I was
that,
gonna
I'm
say
like,
the shield. This
what?
feels like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when they would be like, "Oh, well, it has a shield, so it should have like, double or triple the health lower than what the shield has, right?" Yeah.
Well, and then all the defense stats are a joke. Like compared to like even the Sniper 2.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
funny part.
Sniper 2 has better defense stats and offensive stats.
But it has a shield.
But it has 2 stun combo thing that you can
Ooh.
also keep going for like 3 to 4 hits, maybe if you do the animation cancel or whatever.
And then like all of a sudden you look behind yourself and go, "Oh, that's an E-Freak not."
Murderous intent. But yeah, so there's that suit.
Mm.
But
The
other than
interesting
that,
thing is that people like the kit enough to deal with the rest of it.
yeah,
So you either do some output or you do bulk, and then you just try to keep your spacing up and just lay in on people because it's been consistent at its base cost range in terms of people trying to run it and stuff. To the point where
real.
it's like a really common support right now, even without the like honeymoon period and stuff, which really wasn't much of one. They were just like, well, time to make this thing work, I guess. Like the attitude towards the suit outside of it, people talking about how shit it is on paper has just been like, well, it's shit. Time to use it. Like, okay.
I mean, it doesn't need much, and it'll be an awesome suit. Like, it really just needs maybe like a 2,000 health buff, and I'd say it would be fine where it's at because its kit is really good. The thing is, you got to position like a god to even, because literally, if any raid,
Yeah.
normally a raid can sometimes one combo, maybe you have 2 health if you're lucky, but this you don't even have to one combo. You're just like in the GOG. I'm like neutral side. Okay, next.
Where to go?
Like.
Maybe that's what it is. It just makes everyone go quarter chub because technically they can say it's a skill issue suit, bro, and then they just try to run it
Well,
until it just like weeds out everything else.
One thing that I looked at it, and when I was looking at it, one thing I was kind of like reminded of is, but within the same cost, we have the Shimoda custom.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because the barrage is actually coming out more too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can one combo with a barrage. Like, if I hit the thing and stun it, I'm like, your legs are gone. Now you're not gonna walk. See ya. And I'll just leave it. If it's in the middle of nowhere, I just like blast, destroy its legs, move on, and let the raid come by sometime and get you out. I'm moving on. I need to go kill some generals.
Support line F400 is so fucking weird because of course you got eyeballs running around. Every once in a while, you'll see someone try to bring out like the assault gun tank or I think Hidalgo's at this cost too, or is it?
Yeah, assault gun tank and Hidalgo are the 400s.
And the gun tank just got buffed. Let's go.
Yep. Ever since they also changed stuff for the sniper type, you have really high cost ones trying to run around and melt people's legs. Of course, like we were saying, the Shimoda's there too. Like, it's a really weird mix at this cost.
For real.
So it's kind of just it's quite literally mid. It's just in the middle of all that stuff in terms of like everything that it can do with its kit mixed in there.
So I know
They
it's
should keep
kind of
buffing suits in
which
that
I think is
cost
just like a
range.
a really bizarre like comfort suit for people because technically on paper, even if the stats are ass, like the weapons are like, well, I have a little bit of everything. Hopefully, I can make it work.
When
It's
are they
like
gonna
the
buff
next.
the Isaac?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey,
Isaac's
I'll
still
take a buff.
the usual I don't know suit. Like if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're actually gonna do as a support, but you still want one, or if you're just, you know, some meme level like I'm gonna commit my life to this suit, then just like, oh, there it is.
I feel
Meanwhile,
like
the poor
putting R2
Zhuagu,
Well,
Zhuagu
and
is
then,
like a rare Pokemon at this point.
gosh, how long didn't they buff the normal Sniper 2 at one point?
Yeah,
Like last
Yeah.
patch or something
Probably.
like
Yeah,
that?
they did.
What
It's been
did
a
they
while, I
do?
think.
What did they do exactly?
I'd have to ask
I-
JP Wiki.
For real though, I think it's been like more than just the last patch. I think it's been like
it's been
half
hot
a year
minute.
ago last patch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I still have the page for the new Sniper 2 up. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Because I was curious on like if they ended up, because I don't remember if they did or not, but I was curious if they ended up giving it new skills or.
I think it was just damage. I think there was a lot of damage numbers and some health. Maybe
I
some
forget if they
defense.
touched on the range for it at all, but that rifle reaches from downtown anyway.
Yeah. Like that was the big thing was the
Yeah.
rifle. I remember the rifle.
The sniper
swoosh.
rifle is fine in terms of range because it still has good range.
It puts
But
a
I
few
mean,
times.
like, as the suit itself,
the
mean-
most recent change was last month. Beam
Oh, there
gun
was.
power. Yeah, beam gun power went up
Oh, they wanted to
across
do the
all
beam.
levels. Oh, I'm sorry. I
That's the
wasn't looking at
custom,
the
I would
year.
assume.
That was 2020. Hold on a second. Oh, here we go. Sorry, the
It
last
might be.
change was back in May at the end of the month. No, that was fucking 2021. They have not buffed it recently.
No, it's been.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was like at least a half a year or longer.
Yeah, it's been a while.
okay.
But yeah, they did try to help it a bit. But
It's more so just like we have more extreme range maps, so
Yeah.
it just started to become more common. Like remember when Supply Depot verse dropped, and people were
Right.
just mountain goating up the side of those cliffs,
Yeah.
and were just like putting themselves out in the open and right in that spot. And so it's like, oh, I think it's like 700 or some ridiculous range in a rifle. I might as well just try to tag people, and then people just started using it more after
or
that.
even the military base with the corner snipers that
Mhm.
thank goodness have kind of stopped showing up. But there was so many people trying to do that early on.
Every
Right.
time at that one spot by like the base on the one
Yeah.
side where it's like hop on the mountain. I loved when people were up there. It's like, what? Ooh, this guy's like endo spot. I'm just gonna stagger stun him
Right.
with my OP long range.
But it's with
build up.
these level 4 cold districts. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Oh,
what, you know
boy.
what game mechanic or thing I missed? Just to add one last one. What is it called? Military or what's the water map of the boats? That one and mountain.
oh,
Water
dude, I love the mountain map. Oh,
I just don't get to
Mountain
play them
map.
anymore.
also
Yeah.
really
I
cool
played the shit
thing.
out of mountain.
They used to change maps around. Like they were like,
Every once in a
we
while,
don't like
we
this
get
map.
Mountain still, but not
Let's move it.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
like mountain got like what 3 iterations of what it is today before you got that little
Yeah.
like side
Something
area
like
and
that.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love
Back
that
when
they
they
would
actually
change
did
maps.
terrain changes,
Yeah.
it's been a minute since then.
Yeah.
I've missed
Some of
that.
them
Because they did it
were
to tropical
Mountain was
desert, too.
different, and then Arctic and City, I think got some just because of suit size and clipping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the thing was is that Mountain, if I'm not mistaken, was like the first map of GBO2, if not one of the first maps.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a throwback map, for
And
sure.
and that's why they were trying to that's why they were always changing it, was to make sure that, it's, they're trying to make sure that people liked it because, it was one of the first maps of the games. And they were just kind of like, here, it's our baby, please take care of it kind of thing. But like everybody was like, we don't like this map. Or the people who did like the map were just like, can you change it?
Yeah, mountain's a lot of fun. I loved getting the spots with like the pixie where you could boost up
Yes.
walls and stuff. You
Yes.
catch those supports off guard. They think they're
I-
cool on top of their thing. You just like literally side dash up a wall and
It
just
ended
run
up
around. It's great.
translating to Arctic now. Now you have that.
And then I remember when Nightseeker V first dropped, and they still had Mountain in rotation for a bit. Yeah, Nightseeker V on Mountain was very, very, very good. It was fun.
Also, by the way, Emblem, I know there was a
Mhm.
time and a moment in the game where we finally were like, what is Wince, and why does it suddenly exist and is the bane of my existence?
For real.
And I hate it,
Yes.
and I can never dodge
Good old
roll,
flinch.
and I can never fire my weapon, and I can...
Yeah.
Oh! And
No,
guess
you
what?
just gotta wake up
know
more
I
than
got the
that,
answer.
bro.
Tutorial.
Well, I got the answer, because it was on, like, the spray gun and a few weapons, and somebody finally, like, just was like, well, here's why. Because a lot of that disappeared, like, around the Mark II, it doesn't have anything that winces. Like, there's just a lot of suits that was just like no wince, and then, like, for instance, the Cubile, those beams do. So, like, that's one reason why I kind of came back around the Cubile era, because it was like, here's missiles, here's this, all of this winces. This is why, and like, I was like, I guess that does make sense, because the meta just had suits that just either had a bazooka, had, Vulcans, and none of those would wince, and didn't really have missile spam that would wince. And some of them, not all. I'm pretty sure not all missiles actually wince either. So some just do damage or stun.
Yeah.
And after a while, once MG stuff started getting pushed out, you didn't even have like a big cumulative for that either. So
yeah. So it does make sense, but it just seemed to come out of left field. Like, hey, this mechanic's a thing. But it's like
making it relevant now.
Yeah, we were like, wait, did it just not work before? I remember us speculating like it had to be bugged.
Right. Yeah.
it's such a common thing in other games, right? That you just kind of assume that that's the possibility.
Yeah, they should just take it out. I still think it's the stupidest mechanic in the game.
It really is annoying.
It'll be fine.
Ugh. But if I could have shot them, Gustav, I would have won.
If I could have dodge rolled Gustav, I could have survived.
I mean,
second
you'll get the
Magnum.
dodge roll unless you have force injection, in which you'll just boost around like a dickhead. But it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or when you try to dodge roll, but your injectors kick in.
Yeah,
Like,
just
no,
force
one
injector in
roll.
general. I'm just like, boost, 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 boost. Stop! I'm slamming X as fast as I can. Just do it.
And now you're at a boost.
Suit, don't let your dreams be dreams. Just dodge
Either
roll.
out of boost or your legs get strained.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that was a mechanic that I got reminded of. But anyway, if we don't think of any other last second things, let's go ahead.
Here's one last second thing. Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
I miss quick boost and leg shock absorbers.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
The best
Favorite
buffs.
buff. That was my
Stop it.
favorite buff cycle. This
Old
suit's
school GBO2
underperforming.
buffs.
Let's give it a higher level of quick boost and leg shock absorber.
Surely vertical speed is what it needs. Let's go. It just needs to be able to jump faster.
Good job, guys.
We buffed it.
Another good day of saving GBO2.
What's that? The E3 custom can't
Oh,
jump
my
up
goodness.
onto that ledge fast enough? Here's a new skill.
Yeah.
Assault boost is interesting.
MS losses and damage dealt seems to be a little bit under the average.
No, I almost
like
forgot,
that.
but my favorite one was the goof when they did the changes to the downswing.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, actually, we're not going to do anything with that because you guys, it's your fault. You're just bad.
Yeah.
I
And they
still
had
wish
to
they
address
stuck that
it in the
mentality with the white
changes.
bingo though.
Yeah, we looked at the like A+ players only, and yeah, they were doing fine. And I can't remember if S- was up. Like A+ and up, at a certain point, it just works. So anybody below that,
Get
just
good, please.
get good, because yeah, don't just downswing. You've got a heat sword, for goodness sake. Don't just downswing
Set
the
up
whip.
first, my God.
But yeah, let's see. Okay, so any other last second things?
Mm,
It's about Robotech.
Well, oh no, Sonic. So yeah,
No.
Sonic.
no.
Persona 5. But anyway, so real quick, last thing, and then we'll go ahead and do some shout outs. What do we each kind of expect, want to see, or some kind of thing? And honestly, right now, my short term, I don't really have a long term thing, honestly. Just as far as it goes, I just want to see a 4-star support because we're at like 5 4-star. Is it 5 4-star raids and 6 or 7 4-star generals or something? And we got 2 4-star supports. I made a meme back in the day saying this has to stop using that.
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop. Showing it,
God.
and there was like a counter, ding 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 ding, and there was like 3 supports to like the 10 generals and like the 8 raids. Anyway,
Man's very passionate.
it still hasn't stopped.
But Magnum, nobody even plays the current 4-star supports.
Yeah.
Why would you even bother making new ones?
Yeah. Why make?
If
the Hangar
anything,
Gundam a
you know how
4-star
space
support?
only, used to be a curse for suits. Now it's
Yep.
support.
Yep.
Well, it's always
Yeah.
been
Yep.
support, but more so now than ever.
Space
That's
only.
unfortunate.
We'll just use them on space days.
But yeah, the that was a change with the super and the
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Super
Yeah,
and
04?
GBO4, yeah.
that was a cool thing.
That
That's
was
pretty
a-
recent, but that was really
Yeah.
cool. Like I will say they do a lot of changes, so I definitely like that. They've definitely done some pretty good with their changes, and yeah. But yeah, as far as again, the rival system was one of my biggest complaints that I wanted to change for the longest time because, well, not to go back into that rant. I've ranted about it enough
No.
on here and
It's already
on my stream. So yeah,
3.5 hours.
yeah. So that's mine. That's mine right now. A 4-star support that is god tier, please. That doesn't get immediately like 3 weeks later destroyed by a unicorn or a Sinanju or a Banshee.
That's probably the best thing about supports right now is that it's not that they get nerfed. It's not that they were ever too good. It's just the next suit just beats its ass open. Or just stuff that's already at its cost. Makes its life miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either
Alright,
yeah.
I'm calling it now. The full armor double Zeta Gundam is going to be a support, and it's going to act like a fucking raid.
That's awful.
I'm that's what I'm
Just
betting.
play Phas, bro.
I mean, I would take the full
Honestly,
armor
your
double Zeta,
description just makes me
unicorn,
think
full
of
armor.
the G-Line full custom.
I mean, like, just
Only good on an initial release, please.
Whoa!
Hey, it took a couple of buffs before that thing got good. Its downswing
my
did
gosh.
negative damage
Oh yeah,
to begin with,
no, for sure.
and then finally they buffed it, and then it actually hit like a truck, and it was amazing. So yeah, on initial release, it was really bad, and I remember like Lotus being like, Stop hovering that in front of me. And I'm like, it sucks though. And then they
Yeah.
finally buffed it. I'm like, it's pretty good now. So I'm sorry. Sorry I hovered it so long. But yeah.
If I'm gonna make a wish list, my big ones are I'd love to get the TR6. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also the G Savior suit should be in the game.
Yeah.
But they have to use they can't use the game models, they have to use the movie ones.
Oh my no, dear. No.
Do you know what's so funny? Do you know what's so funny? Gundam Goku stopped by. I don't know if he's still here in my stream.
But that dude
he
loves
literally-
him.
He literally said, G Savior for GBO2 when?
Dude, I'm right there with them. I would love to get some G Savior suits in there.
And he's like, it's UC223. It's technically eligible. I'm like, what? At this point,
Well-
we may as well have our miniature victory Gundams coming in at this point.
I was gonna
like-
say, because considering that we're not gonna get any F90 or Victory because of the scaling issues, like we might as well
Yeah.
just do other stuff past or around it that's like normal size.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken,
There is some regular size stuff in F90, but like
yeah,
they're antiques technically, or just older suits.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
once we get to year
know-
10, we'll just be getting whatever like Gunpla box
I
direct to
mean-
Ota trips over
Yeah.
in the office. Like,
Whoops.
But I mean F91 can have afterimage like this.
Oh my
That's-
god.
Oh
Go ahead.
shit! Hold
on.
Technical
There we go.
difficulties.
There we go.
Hi, hi.
Yeah. After images with mass. Baka.
Hanto.
All of a
Okay,
sudden,
no-
you just like spin your fucking sabers. It just flies
Heavy,
across the
heavy
map.
attack.
Yeah, that's an easy heavy
That's a
attack.
heavy attack. Yep.
You just have to go
F91
"Whoa!"
Raider.
every time it happens.
Yeah, dude, I've been like expecting them to put the type whatever the tank is that was in F91.
Oh, the
The one that
R44,
Or
yeah.
the R44
Yeah.
gun tank. Yeah.
I've been expecting them to put that in the game for a while.
Yeah.
Like it's an old suit. We
That-
don't need to be an F91 to put it in. It's a
Do you
war
know-
relic.
Do you know what's so funny is that the R44 gun tank was retconned into being a successor to the Loto, even though realistically it probably would have been a precursor. Just for how it works.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why? Why couldn't you just say, oh, it was built in like 91, but never was used until like we pulled it out of a fucking museum.
Oh my god.
But
Talk
yeah,
about the walking war museums.
Gustav, what is your kind of wish list or things you would like to see?
I want them to try to get through as much AOZ as possible just because there's a lot of really weird ornate suits in there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not super sure how any of that shit's gonna work. Especially some of the Rezion era suits. Because some of them are legit just boxes
Yep.
that just fly around with vague silhouettes of like mobile suit parts in there. Not to mention, like, the next Stussy that we need is gonna be the Rick Diaz. And technically it should be able to transform, but it has kind of its own wave rider like part, almost like the original Rigazi.
Mhm.
Like, because it's the shield that it folds up with.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they would do that. I want to see how that goes down.
Oh,
Outside of
Zeta
that-
from the manga has a big ass Wave Rider thing.
Mhm.
Would be cool too. Yeah.
Outside of that, the bigger stuff is I want them to see narrative through. I feel like that would probably be like a holiday thing. They're starting to do some of the other variants in A suits, so like
Yeah.
fuck it.
I'm having a feeling that Fenix might be like a New Year's thing.
That's gonna be a boss fight.
I kind
Or a
of agree
support?
too. Phoenix
Yeah.
can have like 3 attacks.
Support?
Like they would have to complete. It would have
That
to
heals
be
your
a
team or
fucking
something?
no supports are ass. Stop doing that. Also, if they
I'd be
did,
okay
they
with
would
that.
they would literally have to fill it out with other weapons. It would have to be essentially like a GBO2 OC.
Yeah, kind of like how they did the zombie.
Did it with
So
the
it's gonna be the
Zaku tank,
Stutzer.
yeah.
It's gonna be the Stutzer Phoenix. Is what
Oh
you're
my
saying.
gosh.
Phoenix does.
Let's go.
Why is that Phoenix shit out mines? I don't know. It's got a
What's this
servo
winch
arm on it
system
too.
that it's got on it?
Yeah.
There's a random Zaku arm on it. Like, yeah, it's fine.
And
Oh,
it's
God,
just like
it's a thing.
flapping behind it too.
Yeah.
It has chain
Um,
mines as a counter.
Honestly, like once we get to year 8 and we really start scraping the bottom of the barrel, I
Oh,
wouldn't mind
God.
getting some of the suits
That's
from
the
Gundam
stupid thing
stock.
about this, though, right? Is that like, as much as like, it's crazy that it's been this long, but like, Universal Century is fucking massive. For as many
It
people
is.
that keep bitching that they want more AU shit, like, first of all, outside of any kind of popularity, that's not really what they bank on for a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
It's only been recently that they've been going harder on that in terms of actual like updated kits and stuff like that. Universal Century, because it has all these mechanic books and all this other bullshit and like older series that kind of just never happened but still have like lore behind them, is just the easier thing to pull from.
And if I'm not mistaken, like the whole term of like MSV stuff started like right after like the Gundam movies dropped too.
Oh yeah.
So,
Magnum is dog aggro.
So
No.
so from there on, like they kept pushing like new like MSV stuff during
Yeah.
that
So
entire time.
functionally we have a bunch of shit that we can still go through. Whether
We
or not
still-
we will, or if they're gonna get tired of the engine and just do another iteration at some point, who the fuck knows?
Right. Well,
Especially because like Next is such a redheaded stepchild too, so that would be their only chance of really bringing AU unless they merge them somehow.
Gosh, that sounds terrifying. Well, and then one other thing in terms of like suits and stuff being brought into GBO2, we still haven't finished any of the missing mobile suit variations. We still haven't finished any of Zeta MSV, and we still have plenty of Char's counterattack MSV to do, which is weird. We still have like 3 whole MSV categories that we still haven't like finished.
Years
Are
of
they all
progress,
pretty? Are they all pretty much just kit bashes like some of the more recent shit we've been getting? Or are they
some of
only
them,
slightly different? Because that's the other
but,
thing
like,
too.
some of them are, but then like if you look at Zeta MSV, there's a lot of
We still need the fucking
unique
mass production
things.
versions of Zeta and Double Zeta.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and that's another thing, right? We still don't have the mass production Zeta or Double Zeta.
We need the
Which-
Mark IV. I know that's a G-Gen thing, but
Yeah.
I still want it.
I mean, they honestly they could.
Shit,
probably-
That should have been. That should
Delta's
have
in
been
the
one of the
game.
things
Let's
that
go.
introduced
Yeah,
game
Delta
cons.
Gundam's
Yeah.
in the game, so I mean,
I mean,
Delta
yeah,
Gundam was also a really easy like hype thing though,
yeah,
because it also has like tie-ins with other stuff. So I can see that.
right?
but as
Rest
far
in
as
peace, Mark V.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Poor
Right.
bastard.
oof, there was another thing that I wanted to see them change, but I can't remember now, or take out.
Oh yeah,
But I
Sentinel. More Sentinel suits would be good too.
Oh,
Chapman.
Sentinel would be good.
Yes,
Yes.
more
We're
Sentinel,
superior
yeah.
Gundam.
Yes.
Yeah, we need the different variants
Yeah.
there.
right.
Well, and then wasn't there like a red XS as well? There was a blue one, and then there was like a red one.
I think
Deep
so.
Striker is the only thing that like, comes to
Yeah.
mind. But I don't think you're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about
they had like a
that.
big ass rifle that came from like downtown or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they did the Express line?
Put the Solomon
The
Express
huge
in. That'd be great.
boosters and shit.
Yes.
Holy
I want the Solomon Express.
my
We got
God.
nuclear
But, like,
warheads and everything.
Some of the shit in AOZ is like that level when it comes to some of their fuselage
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. So like, it wouldn't be that far off. And I still want to know how much of that's really going to come to the game just because of form factor.
Yeah. Oh my
Because if
God,
they can
what-
do that, I don't want to hear shit. Not a
What-
goddamn thing when it comes to it's too small. Shut up.
Right.
Shrink the
I-
pilot. I don't give a fuck.
I found it funny, like when I learned about the Solomon Express G3, like I was like, yeah, let's get this thing in. And then I started looking at its armaments, and it's like nuclear warhead, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Ah.
Hey, I'll
Lord.
Nuclear
Yes,
warhead.
let's
you
do
need
it.
Beam bazooka.
yeah,
Right?
beam
Beam
bazooka, yeah,
bazooka.
or you
Nuclear
could just
beam.
be like playing on and Beyond. I'll just play the GPO2. Shit.
That's one thing that we don't really have yet is like the big blooming explosions outside of like cluster bombs that stay.
Right.
I mean, I think we've learned from the rocket exploding.
What are the scale?
May not be a good idea.
What's the scale of suits and crossbone? Are they like
they're-
F91
It's definitely one
size?
size.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
that might not be on the
because-
table then.
Because Crossbone Gundam is literally
Like post.
codenamed. No, it's literally codenamed F92 or F93.
Yeah, I was gonna say is post the movie and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say one thing I would like to see for Clan Rank, at least. By the way, one feature
Mhm.
is a draft mode for Clan Rank. I think that'd be cool
Yeah.
because that would make more sense than just doing the rated mode because then you don't have to have as many suits or whatever.
They
And-
could introduce something like that during that tournament. They made it to where you couldn't run dupes.
Hey, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much what I was
Yeah.
like kind of getting at, and they could either do that and just, I mean, in the rated it'd be kind of cool because if there's certain suits that are picked, I would definitely run a certain thing. If I get down to like if I'm
Mhm.
last pick and the enemy team has like nothing that has a shotgun and it's around a GOG cost or a heat rod of any sort, I'm playing GOG. Like I'm easy win,
Yeah.
even more easier than usual in that case.
I
So
still
like,
kind of want them to try. I know they probably won't, but considering that they were willing to put forth this effort for making an esports page for Evolution, I kind of want them to bring some sort of form of tournament meister over here too.
Yeah.
They did that community tournament not too long ago.
Yeah.
You know, they may be doing stuff like that for GBO2 if anybody's running any.
Mhm.
But
So
they definitely have the spectator mode for it, which is really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something we're using too, which is pretty neat. Finally to see that in action.
But real quick though,
Hmm.
any other specific big things that we have? Otherwise, we can go ahead and do some shout outs. It's went a little bit longer than planned.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
I can't think of really anything too much personally.
Are
Outside of
we
just rambling.
too far out to think about what would be coming up in the next month, or no?
Well, it's gonna be narrative.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say
Okay,
narrative
like-
for Christmas.
Like
Narrative.
at this point, we may as well just say narrative stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe end of month, going into like the first week of December, we'll probably end up getting another newsletter. I would assume.
Right.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say
I
at the
think
end of this
so, too.
month, like, would be
Yeah.
the only questionable one. Like, would it be something from
Give
narrative,
us
or is it
another
going to be?
4-star.
I mean, yeah, I'm
4-star.
I'm guessing my tinfoil hat is we're getting a 4-star, and it's going to be hopefully a support, because I don't
No.
see narrative hitting at Christmas. I don't see anything else but narrative hitting at Christmas, and it's definitely going to be like a general or something.
Suddenly it's like high new or some shit. Like what?
Huh?
I still don't know why we haven't gotten Hainu yet.
Right?
Well, high
I-
new wouldn't be past unicorn.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of
If anything, unicorn
Even-
might end up kicking high new's ass too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean it's just what
Even-
they're do, so it makes sense.
even though like the high new Gundam is technically just a variant of the new Gundam, a lot of media depicts it as an upgrade
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
stronger than the normal new Gundam.
Because it was supposed to be the fully realized one, because the one they
Right.
rolled out was still in production, and they're like, "Well,
Right.
can't wait for that. Fuck off, take it
I
away.
gotta fight Char.
I gotta beat
So-
their ass."
So because they considered, Sazabi and New Gundam being 700,
Mhm.
by that logic,
By that
would
logic, there's
then-
no reason to have 750.
right. And the high new Gundam technically should be 750. Hell, I would argue that the Banshee and Unicorn should have been 750.
Mm-hmm.
I think 700 is perfectly fleshed out with 2 mobile suits. We should go ahead and go to
Yeah, let's
750.
go further beyond.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
You know what? though?
That's one thing I don't
I
want.
wouldn't be surprised because they've done that in the past.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it would also redirect the ire from 700 to 750 and give them time to stall and like build it up with other shit.
Well, okay, so guys, listen.
That would be
listen.
dumb,
Let me
but
let me
it's
just
not
try
out
this,
of the realm
okay?
of possibility.
So
Right.
750 cost. Opening banner has the Zommel, G3 Gundam, all 750s. Grandpa
Yeah,
Gundam.
and it'll have a
and-
special banner.
And then
Yeah.
for anniversary they do the, like, at the end of the anniversary they put one level to all 4 stars and give you a 7-step banner at the last one that is guaranteed one of the level 2s of the old
Aren't you
4 stars.
excited?
Oh my god.
Yeah. I want a 750 Unicorn and Banshee.
And then the 4-star pool will be diluted by another like 15 or 20 by then.
God,
And
the
it'll
RT and DP shops are already so behind too.
help.
For as much as we talk about this and speculation and stuff, and as much as we dunk on this, there's still plenty more we could get into, but we should probably
Yeah.
wrap it up for
Yeah,
today.
please don't listen, and please don't take this idea if you are actually listening. Please
Don't take it to heart.
Please don't.
don't take
So
that
please
idea.
listen.
That was me being like,
That-
please
that was
don't.
jokes,
That
bro.
was
That was pranks.
sarcasm. It's just a prank, bro. Please.
Put an asterisk up in the air. Like,
No
"Ow."
750. Please.
Hire these
Please don't.
people.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. Make them production lead. What the
You're right. It is
Ni-
time to move
900 cost? What?
true geniuses of the craft. It's like they were developing gacha games their whole lives.
on.
Oh,
Please.
Just
If I had any say in this,
Running a
GBO2
strategy.
would have more booba. Let's be real.
I mean, they really should have more booba at this point. They literally made a
disagree.
booba character and then just like left her rotting in the top of that fucking building.
Yep. Damn mecha fans.
Leona's over here trying to pop her chest and it's like, what's there? You good?
Your full armor kit is not very good, Dahlia. Where are the guns?
No.
Does it even reduce damage? What are the specs? What are the
I like how
specs on those
Katarina is a
boobs?
non-factor, just because, like, just give me my fucking crazy,
Make my money.
goofy bitch. God
Right.
damn it.
Where's my buffers?
Where's my weapon shop? I need it expanded.
Yeah, there's my mountain of sabers. I need to make a Christmas tree this year.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, so yeah, guys, really, really awesome. A little bit longer than we expected, but anyway. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some shout outs. We'll go ahead and start with Maniac. Maniac, let everybody know what you got going on, what you got coming up, where they can find you.
Well, I'm GndmManiac. I stream on the Twitch. And I've been trying to get some YouTube videos out. Well, that's
YouTube.
That's gonna take a
The
while.
Do raw uploads.
No way.
Just do raw uploads. That's a good
Right.
lazy start. Just get in there.
Right.
Just barf
vomit on
around.
Anyway,
Part 1, part 2.
In terms of streaming and stuff like that, twitch.tv/GundmManiac. Woo.
Some of the top GBO2 videos don't even have fucking commentary. Don't worry about it.
So, streaming GBO2 and Yakuza Kiwami at the moment when I have time to stream. So, currently I'm a little busy. So my streams are gonna be kind of hit or miss just because of work. But this upcoming week I'm definitely going to be possibly busy. I'm not entirely sure. But I will definitely try and get to streaming as much as I can. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say on that. Yeah. I exist on the internet. There we go. I exist on the internet.
I will say another blast from the past as far as the podcast goes. I remember back in the day of the self-promo Maniac professional self-shielding there going on. Well done.
Okay. First off, I'm horrible at coming up with promotions, and two,
That's why I don't do it. It's all good.
If you want to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/GundmManiac. I guess how you could also connect with me, hit me my Discord channel.
Oh my god. Sorry.
I honestly cannot think of anything else. I guess, if you've seen my channel, follow it, I guess. I have no idea. I'm not really good at
But yeah, Gustav?
Yeah.
Well, we're out here still. Well, I'm actually in the middle of a match too, but we're doing some GBO2 every day for 4 years. My god. Currently, though, other games that we're doing are Sonic Frontiers actually got gifted to me. Thank you very much. As well as us doing Cyberpunk 2077. It's pretty modded just because there's been a lot of really good stuff that's been coming out during its resuscitation, more or less. So it's been cool to enjoy that. We finally did Master of All and finished that in Champions of the Continent, so we can move on to the cups and some of the bestower stuff. Hanet's Master Zanta actually just dropped, and there's a couple other things I want to get into that eventually. But right now we're in a point of too many games. It's one of the first few times we've actually been juggling several things, just because there's a lot of shit coming out, and there's still more shit that's gonna be on the way.
Dark Tide in one day.
Of course, most of it not being Gundam right now. But you know what? It's okay, because we're going to be doing Eternal when it comes out, right? Surely. It'll be fine. Besides that, just trying to keep up with videos. Also, because Twitter's a interesting shit show at the moment. Been trying to interact on there more, but also unironically trying to get my Tumblr back up and running, just because I want to do some more social media shit. They also have been giving out community tabs to people like it's going out of style on YouTube, so I'm also trying to slap posts on there on occasion. So if there's a social media platform in terms of the general ones, I'm probably on it in some aspect or other. In fact, I gotta probably update my link tree at this point. But we'll be doing dailies every day. We'll probably be shuffling through Frontiers. Probably prioritizing that first just because it's newer, and I think it's going to be easier to beat than just going through Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk, I'm very easily distracted. There's too much random, like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? It's like Yakuza all over again. So, we'll see about how much we get through that. Also trying to do some fundraising for hardware and just, trying to be as much of a hermit as possible over the winter because it's colder than a motherfucker out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we actually just had a really hard temperature drop over here, and the snow is already starting to get busted out, so we'll see how that all goes.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I had ice here the other day here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it hits me, then you're next, but...
Yeah, pretty much.
As far as my stuff goes, as of the recording of this, got about a week left of content making, so we'll be doing that. Gustav mentioned the YouTube thing. I was joking with chat the other day, saying like YouTube gave me a post-mortem like YouTube link, so now it's actually youtube.com/GamingEmblem. Yeah. So that's a thing now. But besides that, the rest of this week is going to be dedicated to Gaming Coup. So if you like anime, Valhalla waifus, or VTuber stuff, we'll be.
Oh, it's gonna be Anime Who's graduation. Oh no! We should probably drum it up like that.
Oh my gosh!
God, I didn't even think about that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so we'll have Gaming Coup in the studio for the rest
New
of the week.
strategy, boys. We need to make another board.
Yep.
All right.
The recap episode will be the day before Thanksgiving.
Actually,
that's about it, though.
Okay.
Thanksgiving's gonna be a thing soon, my lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll also try to do we're doing a group stream thing where we're gonna do probably some GBO2, but also whatever else we could. And also, we forgot to do GBO2 during this.
Yeah, I was literally just
Whoops.
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh, well.
I've been playing it this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's always Tuesday next week. So yeah.
I mean, we literally have a whole other event planned.
Yeah,
and that was brought up when I asked. I just wanted to make sure at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be doing that next week, pretty much same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, roughly. Whenever Emblem gets back, some of us will probably already be trying to do something.
Magnum, when do you think this video is going to be dropping?
Hopefully tomorrow.
Then give us some suggestions on what we should be doing for that event in terms of games outside of the usual GBO2 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Engagement.
The viewers.
Amogus.
Oh, I do so love my community.
Yeah, for real though. Give us some stuff that is.
I so count on you.
Yeah, because anything cheap or free though too would also be good mentions.
I mean, if it's gonna be super expensive, it's gonna be obvious the second we.
Hey, I already own most of the Jackbox games, so we have that.
Well, there we go. That's what Maniac was saying, was something about Jackbox stuff. So.
We can get Magnum back on camera duty.
Amogus. But yeah. Anyway, so as usual though, well, first, Maniac, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
I figured for an episode like this too, I've been wanting to get you back on. I know what would technically have been our last anniversary kind of thing, I was talking to you, and then you were just crazy busy then.
Yeah, gosh, it was rough because I looked at my schedule for work and I'm like, no. It's like, nope. Had me working a whole straight week. I'm like, yep, nope.
So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
it's been awesome.
No problem.
Definitely a blast from the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as usual though, everybody's links and stuff will be down in the description below. Also, Emblem, since this is going to be the podcast one, I'll go ahead and say this. Good luck.
Thank you.
And stuff. Wish you the best. And but yeah, as far as content that I got coming up, well, technically at this point, because we went a little long, I just noticed that it is actually Thursday. There should be some Dark Tide things happening. So that's going to be fun because that technically comes out. I don't know if it comes out tomorrow at midnight or what, but so it might start then. But yeah, Dark Tide, if you pre-ordered it, you get to start playing on the 17th rather than like a week or two later when it. Or does it actually drop in like December or something? Either way, I feel like it's a crazy early time. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, No Man's Sky. Speaking of getting lost in things, Gustav, No Man's Sky is literally we're like, okay, we're questing, we're doing these quests. You got your quest caught up? Okay, we're both on the same quest. Hey, look, there's some sodium over here.
Oh Christ! Yeah. Oh, what's this digging over here? What's that? Let me. And did I remember to scan this?
What's
right next to it? Yeah.
Oh, there's a new rock. There's a house.
It's fucked up that like, you're suddenly on this kick when we were on the cusp of doing like more Valheim stuff, and then they just didn't announce any more updates outside of like one or two things.
Right.
But oh boy, I No Man's Sky, and they constantly like either give you periods to get it for free or like discounted too. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. So you're gonna be doing that. The next couple of days though, there's like 1 to 3 days left in Paragon. Gonna be doing that. Path of Exile has a new league starting soon, trademark, maybe at the end of this month or beginning of next month, I think. And I know I'm definitely probably forgetting something. Tarkov should be having a new wipe sometime next month. So hopefully that involves a new map because that would be absolutely insane. So too many games currently, too many games to come. And always too many games. And plus, I'm playing League of Legends again because I'm a video game masochist. So yeah, let's go. And then, of course, always GBO2 stuff. Hopefully, Evo survives because I've been having fun with that. And maybe some Battle Alliance soon.
Time to start doing community names for Evo.
Yeah, right. Or
community squads.
And then Battle Alliance soon trademark just to get caught up on all the levels, even though I've gotten like part upgrades because you don't actually have to do the new levels to get really anything that is decent. Unless, you could get the DLC stuff and get better things though. Rip. But anyway. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments down below any and all thoughts about this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. But anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Later.
Later.
I count on you.